Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. There never. Nope. Nope. It was apparently a setting on the mic on this Elgato mic here, but I think we're good now. I think we're okay. Oh boy, this is this is getting off to just it's enough.
It's the start we deserve.
So you know what I'm really upset about now?
Hmm.
My camera feed on here is frozen, but I can see y'all move on the
I can
stream,
see you moving.
but on Skype, but not on the stream. I'm somehow frozen there now. One day. Oh, you know what? I bet y'all know what the problem is. I bet you this is that
Mm-hmm.
broke version I had ages ago.
Mm-hmm.
Broke version of Skype.
Yeah, remember I had to kind of keep rolling it back every so often
Oh,
because everybody was
like,
working but me.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's what happened.
Oh, okay. Time for a trip to oldversion.com. To
No,
oldversion.com.
no, I think it's a trip to new version. I feel like because they fixed it, but I still have the old version saved, and that's what I just installed. I didn't know because they do in place upgrades, so it's not like they replaced and gave me the new download file.
Mm-hmm.
I just
Just
just still have the old one saved from back in March.
yeah. Time to reinstall and a fresh install from the website.
Yeah, I guess so. So hi everybody, it's your boy Mark Summers, Major Linux, and it's time once again for another episode of Tech Talk Thursdays for Thursday, July 21st, 2022. Of course, I'm joined this week and every week, so animated. It's your boy Kev. Kev is in the building.
In the building.
And of course, we're joined this week by the art connoisseur. Looks like he's got some new art in the background there. Sinziak is in the building.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hi, indeed. So, you know what I'm going to do? As much as we got stuff to talk about this week, and we got a lot, and we're trying to get done within a reasonable hour, I'm going to need y'all two to riff while I try to update and or reinstall Skype again.
Now, before we do all that, because I'm sure you're going to try to do it, I should go and get myself a straw. 1 second.
So, Kev, how are you doing while your camera suddenly freezes on the stream and I reinstall Skype?
Well, I have been.
I said one, and I really did mean one. I came back with a straw.
Hey, love to see it. I have been pretty much. I have been like falling back in love with the backlog again, because I've been kind of on like a bit of a game buy freeze, and by game buy freeze, I pretty much bought one new game that's coming out tomorrow, so it's like Live Alive. But and
Is
then
that the fighting game?
No, that's the remake of the. It's a remake of a JRPG that came out on the Super Famicom back in Japan, but it never came to the States. It was apparently a really awesome game, like well loved, and even in the MU scene, it was really well loved and respected. And it was translated, and so they Nintendo self-published the game through Square Enix. So they basically said like, hey, we like the idea of this game. We're going to self-publish the game. We're going to publish the game on Switch. And they gave it the Octopath Traveler. It's kind of an Octopath Traveler vibe. It looks really good, and I'm really excited to play it. But I'm probably, even though I'm very excited to play it, and I will be getting it Friday, in the mail. I'm probably going to be playing it. There's a good chance I'm probably going to be playing it on Monday because,
If
yeah.
that's the case, then I'm looking very forward to it because that Octopath Traveler, Final Fantasy Tactics are things that also that look amazing, but will also stand the test of time in terms of artistic style because they're highly stylized games, and
Hmm.
therefore, like they're not necessarily just products of whatever technology is available at the time.
Right.
Love
And
that.
they'll and they'll run pretty well. There is a demo on Switch, so if you want to go check it out, you can definitely check the demo out. I think it's like the premise of the game is it takes place in different ages, with different characters. It also kind of reminds you like a Chrono Trigger with like people from the different ages. Um,
Mhm.
so there's like I think there's like the Wild West age, caveman, prehistoric age, quote unquote present day, medieval China, not medieval China, probably like yeah, medieval China, and the future, the distant, what they call like the near future and the distant future, and each age has characters. I think it was like really cool. Like the prehistoric age there is no dialogue for the prehistoric age. Like it's just a combination of grunts and so it's like you have to like learn the story of that particular character through grunts. And I think that's actually pretty clever. I've been looking at like a lot of the character trailers. I've seen like yeah, so I'm very hype about it. So I know Xenoblade's coming out this month. So and I was like,
Mhm.
nah, I ain't really up for Xenoblade, but I was like, Live Alive, I'm down for that. So I'm gonna check that out. So I'm looking forward to that. Also been dabbling in some No Man's Sky. That's been kind of fun. That's kind of fun. Streamed that today. The frames were indubitably framing, and had a really good had a really good time. Had a really good time like roaming the vast crevasse of space. Although my flying is left to be a lot to be desired. Almost crashed into like at least 3 mountains. So did a very hard U-turn. Be like, was that a base down there? I don't think you're really supposed to do U-turns in interplanetary spaceships, but your boy definitely did. So
I mean, I won't
yeah,
tell
so
if you won't.
yeah, I won't. Yeah. So yeah, it's been a good time. I'm trying to like get to you know close to the new update stuff. I'm probably not gonna get to the new update stuff anytime soon. But I've been enjoying playing it, and it's been fun. And I'm adding it back to the rotation again. So yeah. I think that's it for me for the most part. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
I've hit that kind of point in my stride where I'm like, I'm not sure what to do about games because on the one hand, I've been having a lot of fun trying to fight this final like all night pantheon, but also being like a very long list of games that I want to play. So I'm trying to figure out if I want to finish that adventure on stream, which a lot of people seem to be very invested in,
Yes.
or finishing it off stream and playing other things on stream that are in queue. Like surprisingly, well not surprisingly, but ironically enough, um, Octopath Traveler and things. So there are a lot of things to consider. I also need to, this also, serves as a friendly reminder. I need to go to the store and get some more AA batteries for my controller.
Which
Um,
which controller?
it's an Xbox controller.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you something. Get you if I can grab it. I don't know if I can grab it. If I can grab the back of it. Let me show you. You go and it's what's called a Power A cradle charger, right? And see in the back, it
Mm-hmm.
has these batteries in it. And see these little like metal prongs in the back, like pads
Mm-hmm.
in the back.
Mm-hmm.
This is where it charges at. So whenever you need to charge it, you just put it on the charger, cradle like so. I'm gonna send you a link to it. I'll send you a link to it. And yeah, saves me so much time to charge my controllers, and I have not paid for
Mine
any
is
AA batteries.
the charger for mine is vertical. I don't know if that matters, but it might, maybe. I don't know.
Mm. I'll send you the link and see
See what's going
see
on.
what you think. Yeah.
Um,
Or if not just the regular standard play and charge one does the same thing. Plug it in with USB. It plugs through USB. Charge it that way. Save you some time. We team. We don't buy batteries if we can help it.
I think you feel about batteries the way I feel about canned air. So, that's fair.
I definitely do buy a lot of but I do buy a lot of canned air, and I'm like, the way if I had one of them like blowers, like
I mean,
vacuum things.
I have one, and I cannot recommend it enough. It is a wonderful time
Mm-hmm.
because it has like a blower thing and a vacuum thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess in other sundries, we are now on today
Mm-hmm.
is week 3 of being here. It'll be like 3 full weeks tomorrow. So that's
Mm-hmm.
a thing. And I think Miss Kitty is finally getting used to things around here because, at first she was kind of like, I want you to be aware of me, but I don't want you to pet me. Now she's like, I woke up today at like 6 or so in the morning and found her like curled up next to me in bed. So I'm just like, okay. We're like slowly warming up to the place. We're getting used to things around here, and that's nice to see.
Good.
Other than that, I've been watching people play games like Stray, and all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Although one of my friends did send me a message, it was kind of like, okay, so I'm not gonna ask for spoilers, but I do need to be spoiled on one thing. Does anything bad happen to the cat? I'm not gonna answer that question. Does anything bad happen to the cat? Because I can't. Like, my wife refuses to get emotionally invested in this game and then have something happen to this cat, so I need to know.
Right. I'm pretty much gonna wait until the game eventually comes to Game Pass. So I'm like,
Something I was gonna ask a question about that, but then I realized that is currently on our list.
mm-hmm.
Um, of things to talk about today.
Okay.
The only other thing is, because I know Kevin likes these like discounts and savings.
I certainly do. I love a good sale.
Finally looked up all the Big Lots in my area, so at some point in the next week or two, I'm just gonna see if I can like slide on through one of those and be like, let me pick up some things.
I love a Big Lots. I love a Ollie's. We used to do like Goodwill diving, but then it was like, yo, we were buying way too much of other people's stuff. So that had to stop. So, but yeah, I love good deal. I love a good bargain. I'm always like, retweet a deal, fat kid deals, IGN deals, cheap ass game. I was heavy. I think I'm still am, but I was heavy in the CAD community. Like I was heavy in the CAD community, but I kind of fell off. I kind of dabble in the Discord now, but I don't, but I was heavy. I was in the forums, the podcast.
For which one? For which thing?
Cheap ass gamer.
Mm.
I was big into that. I was like, yo, I'm probably gonna be a community manager if I keep doing this long enough. But then I kind of fell off and joined other communities, and then I started content creating. So I was like, that
Don't worry, Ruin. I am still here. I am aware that everybody's frozen. Just didn't
Yep.
want to cut through everybody's conversation. See, and it's hard to convey when there's no video component to this.
Yeah. Bunch of technical difficulties. We're working it out.
Yeah, and I don't know when this will be fixed. That's the problem.
Incoming voice mod shenanigans.
You are being entertained live by myself and Kevin, while Major works on defeating those of my tech shenanigan army.
Why did you send your army this way? Why?
Not me looking at the thing.
I am the devil and I'm sent here to ruin things.
But why?
Zinziak, however, is not.
But why? Why
Not
would
me.
you do these things?
Not me with my mouth open. I be like,
All right. So this is about as far as it'll go. As you can see, like, so I have not gotten to the call yet. So
Yeah, I'm catching.
that's why I'm working. But as soon as I get the call, it will refresh with these two for a second, then it freezes again. So I will give you a chance.
You
And
know,
mind you,
something?
I can't see what they're doing. I will give y'all
Hold
a
on.
chance to get a nice good freeze frame in case this breaks again. Let me know when you're ready.
Ready.
Now, Sin didn't even show up until you turn your camera off.
Nope.
Oh, okay. There's Sin. Wait. Oh, no. It's moving. Everybody's moving. Or are you? I don't know. I can't tell. Okay, yeah, Sin's still moving. Okay, God. Okay, I think it's working. I think it is. Just be cognizant that it can break at any moment. And there's nothing I can do. Outside of, buying VMix, which really is starting to become a thing I am seriously contemplating. That's what I'm saying. Kev's still trying to fuck with me, man. And I don't appreciate this.
I was trying to hold it as much as I could, but I couldn't hold it. I was laughing so hard. Oh.
I don't trust you.
Oh, that was funny.
Okay, so briefly, I've been trying to fix shit over here for so long. And apparently, it's still not working. I'm back on Windows 10 as of like 11 p.m. last night. Like, I actually didn't even get all the applications installed on this computer until like 5 p.m. today.
Yep. It's gonna take Major smooth like 2 weeks before we get back to 1.0 again.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
taking it all the way back.
Mm-hmm.
To be fair, it all started when I bought this new case. I don't know how. I don't know how that's related, but it is somehow.
Did you buy this case from a gypsy woman in the pale moonlight?
I mean, does that gypsy woman work at NZXT? Because I bought it from them.
Because
No.
it must have been cursed.
No, I bought it from Amazon.
Oh,
There's definitely a gypsy woman working at Amazon.
wait, I bought my case from from Amazon. No.
Anywho, I've been spending most of my free time, trying to back up data and get Windows reinstalled, which, for the most part, everything is installed. I still have some updates I gotta apply. Gotta get Windows subsystem for Linux reinstalled so that I can get back to editing and stuff. So yeah, eventually we'll be back. But enough about me. It's time to get into some news. Apparently, It's Nostradamus moment after Nostradamus moment, and I hate the tweet to tease this again. I feel like we should already know at this point. Twitch has just been holding some things back. They have just been opening a fucking salvo this month of things going on with, of course, with some announcements that went down last week at TwitchCon Amsterdam. Got that and so much more. Let's get into the nugs. Ladies and gentlemen, I forgot to check that monitor. My bad. There we go. And since gone. Yeah, this is definitely an older backup.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, that's the wrong one. That's the one I want to move. There we go. See, I fixed it. I did it. Yay.
You did it. Hooray.
Hooray. Start off in tech news. A multi-billion-dollar crypto lender just filed for bankruptcy.
Good.
Excellent. Marvelous. Superb.
Yep. I say, why do voice modulator when you can do it yourself?
Because I can't do it myself, literally. So there's that.
I mean, yeah.
I wonder. Nope. I don't like that at all. Nope. I'm gonna bring that back on voice meter. Yep, we're just gonna just ignore that. Didn't happen at all. Nothing at all happened. Nothing. You saw nothing, Jerry. You saw nothing at all. Yes, storage. Let's talk about storage now. The James Webb Telescope. The James Webb Telescope's hard drive can't store Warzone, but it will withstand the horrifying effects of cosmic radiation.
Mm-hmm.
For some strange reason, they only decided to put 68 gigabytes of storage on that telescope.
So it can't run Stardew Valley.
No, I think it could run. Well, store it, yes. Run it, who knows?
Yeah.
The JWST is built to collect around 57 gigabytes of data each day, transmitting half the quota at a time during 2 orbital windows in the Earth's rotation. The telescope itself has no substantial long-term storage because it doesn't need it. The data doesn't do anything good floating in space. Okay.
Take some pictures.
Yeah. I mean, but when I take pictures, they probably live on my camera for a good long time until I like, oh yeah, I should probably take these off.
Yeah. I wonder if it shoots in like raw. I wonder if it shoots in like raw. Ooh, the raw format.
I mean, I think it shoots in ultraviolet light.
But is it in raw format though?
But what I'm saying, like, I don't think that this is the picture that it sees. I think this is like just the measurements of all of the gas and stuff in space, and the computers on Earth reconstruct all that data to make that image.
Mm-hmm. But is that image in raw?
Probably not.
Oh, okay.
It's probably a PNG.
Mm.
I feel like at that point, who is encoding a photo in raw?
I mean, raw. Basically, raw is the basically uncompressed image. It's the mother image, and
But
then
but that's what I'm saying. Like at that point, once you're making it an image to show people, what was the point of encoding it in raw? Like I'm pretty sure, like for NASA, it's stored as like data. Like like their version of raw is like the instrument readings from the telescope.
Okay. You know, it's like how do you say you're a photographer without saying you're a photographer? Is it in raw?
See, that sounds like some pretentious shit right there. It's like, if you don't shut up.
Major. Now hold on a minute.
Yes, I know I am guilty of it too.
I mean, my
I'm-
business.
Kel said what?
Yeah, exactly.
Kel said hoops.
Look, I recognize pretentiousness because I too am very pretentious.
You know what you are when you see it, because you see it.
Game recognized game. Oh boy. FCC chair proposes new U.S. broadband standard of 100 megabits per second down, 20 megabits per second up.
I'm not going to argue with the fact that people should have faster internet.
It's a start. It's a start. Because as a standard, that's a good standard.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody on Twitter when I shared the article on Twitter. Someone was like, "Well, it's like it sounds like it's that low, though." I said, "Well, hold on. Let's sit down and look at this for a second." So I looked up average internet speeds by country, or whatever, right? So Speed Test does have a global index.
Mm-hmm.
Now, on average, our upload speed may be a little bit lower than the world average. But that download though,
download's not bad.
I mean, considering too that there are more consumers than creators.
Yes.
So like it's always a thing. And even here, you're still seeing more download than you're seeing upload. So I would see how just even functioning, you have more download than you would have upload.
Right.
Because people are going to be watching things, downloading things, playing things. As much as, like, sure, all of us are probably on fucking streamer Twitter in some form or fashion. Like every 5 minutes, you'll see that somebody's going live and debating on whether or not you need 1 tweet or 2 tweets to say that you're going live. Today, I put 0 tweets because shit was broken and I forgot to tweet.
Yeah, I'm a 1 tweet.
So
like
as much as we see all of that, like to look at the grander scheme of Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, there are more people not streaming. There are more people not creating content than there are people who are creating content.
Right.
So to see 100 up, 20 down is not that bad for what most Americans would do.
Right. So as a standard, like standard mom and pop, that's great. That's awesome. You know, mom's gonna be watching them Real Housewives episodes crisp, no buffering.
And keep in mind too that right now the standard is 25 down, 3 up.
Yes, and that's not good. That is very not good. Like I got mid tier, and I got mid tier, internet, and that's the 120. If 120 is standard, like you pay like mom and pops or people in need can get that as standard. Imagine what it would look like. That would be great, for the higher tiers to be the new mid tiers. Like imagine like fiber being like affordable for everyone.
I mean, depending on where you are too, like I still feel like it is affordable compared to what some of these cable companies are charging. Like I am paying way less for gigabit, like symmetrical gigabit, like 1,000 up and 1,000 down, than I would be for cable, and it's not symmetric. Also, we got this line here, Rosen Warsel, I'm so sorry, is also proposing a separate national goal of 1 gigabit per second down, 500 megabits per second up for the future.
Ooh, that's nice.
Once again, not one complaint from me. This is good news.
Not a complaint from me. And get them damn ISPs under control. Like, it's a utility. It's a utility. All right.
Right.
And it should be treated as a utility. It should be maintained. It should be covered. You know, that's what we went through. That's what we were trying to tell Ajit, and Ajit was like, "Nah, fam, it's not like that." And
Ruin.
that was one dude I was like, I could not wait to get rid of. I was like,
Who your boy
him
Ajit Pai?
and his mug. Yeah, Ajit. My man was like, ooh, he was wilding.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, 25-3. You don't need any more than that.
You don't need no more than that. And we're gonna take away title two, what was it, title 2 protections.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like, oh, and we gonna be doing priority lanes. And I'm like, no, you ain't. I don't want my Netflix to be slower because Netflix ain't want to pay your extortion prices. Now I got to sit up there and watch like Bacon Show at half speed. Boy, if you don't get your light, you don't get up out my face.
Ruin says, when someone told me they are paying $70 for 110, you cry. Oh, 100.
110.
No, no, but no, baby, no.
The way I would fight AT&T.
Ooh. Ooh, baby. Ooh.
I'm like, no, babe. Oh no, baby, what you doing, baby? And I bet they got data caps too, huh?
I don't even think. I wonder what the speeds my parents see. I'm gonna say they never even exceeded single digits.
They could probably have a data cap and probably will never even touch it. Say
it. It's just say it.
They probably wouldn't even touch. They probably won't even touch like the cell data. Real talk.
I mean, they probably couldn't.
Oh no, man.
Because there ain't no signal out there. YouTube reduces content ID appeal process from 30 to 7 days.
I ain't heard a bad story yet.
You know what? You're right.
I wonder if this is one of those things, kind of like what Twitch does with emotes, where it's kind of like, hey, if you've been on here and you're not out here wilding or whatever, we're just gonna go ahead and speed this up.
Yeah.
So yeah, we see you've been waiting for a minute. Would you like to? So what is it like to move this along? So yeah, good on them for picking that up. Well, Kev, you spoke too soon.
Oh damn.
But this only affects people on Windows 11, which I'm not on.
I will say about. I think you moved on past this, but just as a note on that thing for 7 days, it's only 7 days for appeals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When latest Windows 11 security patches causing problems again. Installation errors and known issues make the latest update a tricky one. There's a bit more information lower down the page, though, including the fact that this patch includes the improvements introduced with KB 5014668, and that PowerShell transcript logs have been fixed. Hardly something that affects most, but I'm sure our IT department will be delighted by the news. Let's see. There's also known issue with .NET Framework 3.5 apps failing to open and exhibiting general issues. Well, that's fun. Some users have found that turning off the .NET Framework 3.5 before installation can help. Turning off malware bytes beforehand can help. Also help matters here. There's a workaround on the patch notes page, which could come in handy.
Oh, boy.
Another known problem affects IE mode in Microsoft Edge. Apparently model dialog boxes can stop Edge from responding, which isn't ideal. The solution here is to use known issue rollback. This is utterly broken, in other words. While there probably aren't many users users running IE mode, as it's essentially there to support older sites that require the now deprecated Internet Explorer 11, it's going to be annoying for anyone that has to rely on it. Yes, Ruin. Microsoft is definitely making Windows 11 look like a fucking downgrade.
I'm telling you, Windows 11 has started to be like the new ME and Vista, and I hate to see it.
I called it out. I was like, when like I had enough, I was like, yeah, Windows 11 is the new fucking Vista, on track to be the new ME.
And yet he installed it twice. Don't listen.
This was after I installed it the second time.
The second time. You hear yourself? The second time.
It was GA then.
Second time.
It was supposed to be better.
The second time.
It was the chosen one. It was supposed to fight the outdatedness, not become it. I don't know what the words are.
As the great saying goes, fool me once, shame on you.
It was beta.
Fool me twice, shame on you.
It was beta. It was beta the first time. It was GA the second time. Sorry for assuming that, I don't know, GA would have been stable code.
Beta means we got a little stuff to hang out with, but we're effectively done. We just gotta slap a coat of paint on this mug. You know, that's beta. Beta means
that's a video game beta.
Yeah, we just got to screw in the light bulbs.
That's a video game beta.
We got to cover up the exposed outlets. You know, we got to maybe have to put a little, paint, slap a little coat of paint. Paint around the eaves and overhangs. That's what the beta is. Beta is stable code, not it's stable-ish code, but it works. Yeah, but this was undone. This is unbaked. It's gonna take a year or 2 service packs to get the bad boy together.
Which is unfortunate. Windows 10 might be the first OS I will stick to until support runs out for it.
End of life, baby. End of life all the way.
Which upsets me in a way, because I'm like, damn, I really want that direct storage. Hold on.
I wanted those Android apps. I was like, yeah, ooh, Android apps. Let's go. But I'm like, I'll just BlueStack.
All right. So let's see here.
I will just BlueStack. Thank you very much. Once again, emulation saves the day. That's how I used to play. What game was that? Shop Titans. Before I had a phone that could play Shop Titans. Now it's the PC version of Shop Titans is out, so I just play that. I streamed that once. I streamed that once. That was interesting.
Okay, so Windows G. Got it. Gaming features tab. I don't see that. Where's that at? Oh, there it is. Gaming features. Yes. No.
No.
Okay, so the GPU. Okay, all right, there we go. So y'all can't see this, unfortunately. Oh, they've got features in here for fucking HDR. Like, okay, I need to come into this gaming menu a lot more. So the GPU is direct storage supported. This version of Windows does not support direct storage 10 optimizations. But my C and my D drives are direct storage supported. Okay, so like everything is good to go, but just not. I guess the OS is the thing that needs to be fixed.
Yeah, I think you need to. I think if you ever going to be dabbling in Windows 11, do like a lot of people do, dabble in a virtual machine.
But then I won't be able to use direct storage, and my games will look like shit.
But it won't. But at least you know when it breaks.
Major, do you want to have to do this again when it breaks? Is that a life that you want?
I mean, it was okay when it played video games. It was only when I wanted to do literally anything else. That's what this Mac is for.
That's what you do in a virtual machine, dude.
Play the video games in a virtual machine? I don't think I can get 3080 Ti performance in a virtual machine.
I believe I said what I said, Major.
I cannot get 3080 Ti performance in a fucking virtual machine.
Look,
you can say
said,
whatever the fuck you want.
You said the games, the games ran fine. It was just everything else broke. Just do the everything else in the virtual machine, bro.
I mean, again, that's why I'm saying that's why I have this Mac for. There's a Mac sitting where I can do everything else on the Mac. Like I'm trying to figure out I'm trying to get a capture card so I can plug it into this Mac and just capture games off the PC and just be done. That's the whole plan. I'm getting there eventually, but until then, I still need this thing to stream. In more Microsoft news, Microsoft changed its mind about open source monetization. Essentially, what they were trying to do is make sure that people who were they were trying to stop people from stealing open source code that was readily available and trying to sell it in the Microsoft store, which was great. That's fine. But they worded it so vague that it interpreted into anybody who uses open source code in their project and that they are selling it, if they legally have the permission to use the open source code or not, cannot sell their apps in the Microsoft store. So of course, all those developers are like, hey, wait, what? No. No, like I have open source libraries that are in, like half the games that you sell on your store use open source fucking code. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Like how many games use Unity? Fmod.
Wait, is Unity open source? I don't think Unity's open source.
We'll see. Google that real quick. Let's see. I could be wrong.
I think there are open source games made in Unity, but I don't think Unity itself is open source.
I could be wrong. You and Merge would know more as the coders.
It says there are open source repositories for it.
Use open source assets.
Cannot compile Unity. I don't know. But yeah. Like there are definitely a lot of open source technologies that are being used in games, a lot of different software. And they're like, yeah, if you use anything open source, you can't sell it. Like, excuse me? No, boo-boo, that's not how this is gonna work today. So Microsoft rolled those rules back, saying, all right, cool, we fucked up. Our bad. Just carry on. Is Unreal open source? I mean, I know that you can make things in the engine, but I didn't think Unreal was open source. It's open source, but it's not free software. Okay, never mind. That's... So, let's see. According to this here Reddit, its source code is available and you are free to use it or change it however you like, but you have to adhere to the license agreement. So, yeah. Sure, maybe, I don't know. I cannot confirm nor deny whether or not Unity or Unreal Engine is open source. If you know, please feel free to let us know in the comments below. Yet another attack vector for hackers to get at your data. This time through your SATA cables. That's right. Your SATA cables. Things that plug into your hard drive. Researchers at University of Negev, Israel, have published a paper that demonstrates how a hacker could extract data from an otherwise secure system via its SATA cable. The attack uses the SATA cable itself as a form of wireless transmitter, and the data it carries can be intercepted as a form of radio signal in the 6 gigahertz band. The attack is appropriately referred to as Satan. Thank you, Merge. Unreal is open source. You just have to register and join their GitHub org. Okay. The researchers published a paper, or the researchers have published a paper. They successfully demonstrated the technique and showed it in a video that's included above. It is to be said that this kind of attack is complicated and requires specific malware to be installed on the target machine. It requires specialized shell code to modify file system activity that generates identifiable radio signals from SATA cables. Like, what the? Who's got this time?
Really? That's the question I was going to ask. Thank you.
Oh no, it's Ubuntu. So for those who do not know, air-gapped. For our audio listeners, let me describe to you what's happening. We're watching a video here of them demonstrating this hack. They're using an air-gapped Ubuntu PC. For those who do not know what air-gapped mean, air-gapped is not connected to the network. There's no network traffic coming in or out of this system. It is completely just a lone standalone, just computer just sitting there, just minding its own business. So they're in a dialog box here, typing the word secret into the Ubuntu air-gapped machine. They've got a Dell laptop here that will somehow grab this message. There's text on the screen. This is malware leaks the secret from air-gapped PC to laptop using the SATA cable as an antenna. And lo and behold, the word secret showed up on that laptop. So, yeah. That's a new way to hack somebody's computer. Versus I haven't sometimes pretend I know what to do with it. Yeah, eventually I'll contribute to some open source projects, but yeah. So yeah. Please be careful. I would say that for the amount of people this would affect, I feel like is very, very small nowadays. Because in order for you to find a computer with a SATA cable, you'd be in a building because most of those computers would be desktops. Laptops, while they may have SATA connected hard drives, there are no real cables there. Like it's just SATA connectors that are just on the motherboard. And now most laptops are they have solid state storage, which is soldered onto the board as opposed to being connected with any type of cable. So it's not like you could just be outside at the Starbucks with your laptop, accidentally download a file, and then people steal your data off of a SATA cable, because for the most part, your laptop will not have any cables like that. Also, I'd imagine it'd be a pain to try to do, like, I don't think that there would be a hack that works for every machine, because each SATA cable may be made differently. There's like different sizes of SATA cable, whole bunch of things I imagine you have to take into account when trying to create a very MacGyver-ish antenna out of a SATA cable. Kev, I believe you are muted.
Oh, I am muted. I don't know why. I think that's some kind of like MacGyver / like Mission Impossible type of stuff. Like in the vein of like it's so outlandish a technique that of course it has to be true. But it's like so wild though. Like why would like how would somebody have access to be able to go in and swap out a SATA cable?
Well, see, it's not swapping the SATA cable. It's using the SATA cable that's already in the machine.
Damn.
Yeah, they're using signals coming out of the stuff that's already there. They didn't do anything.
Damn. That's wild.
So all they need is just somebody like to, I don't know, put a USB key into a computer that's not connected to the internet and just let it do its magic.
The old jump drive hacks.
This would be great to steal data.
I just at work today.
Huh?
I just had to do a work on training for that at work.
Yeah, that's right. Do not plug random flash drives into your computer. Take it from Q. Because that was... Damn, what movie was that? Was that Spectrum? Or Spectre?
Oof. I don't know.
No, it wasn't Spectre.
Not Spectre. Skyfall?
It might have been Skyfall.
Most likely probably was Skyfall.
It might have been Skyfall because I think that was the last one they were dealing with the hacker person.
Yeah.
And it was kind of funny. So one of the things I did do over the weekend too was watch No Time to Die. And without spoiling it, which I don't know, but without spoiling it, Q was met up with a flash drive again and was like, yeah, I'm going to put this in the air gapped machine this time. I'm not fucking around. So I remember what happened last time I plugged this into a networked computer like an idiot.
You would think Q would know that.
You would think so too, but just watching it was just watching it happen in Skype, I was like, oh no, oh no, oh yep, that's what. See, like every IT person just sitting there, every InfoSec person sitting in the movie theater. See, this is why we have those trainings. This is exactly why we have those trainings.
This also kind of gives me the vibe of the first Iron Man, where it was like Pepper was like did the hack with Obadiah, and she had to cover the flash drive with the
yeah.
Yeah, it was like that's that vein to me when I think about like possible proper hacking, like set it and forget it hacking.
See, Merch says it would be a great way to steal data and potentially not alert the target. Probably only useful for high value targets. Replace housekeeping. Oh yeah, the target is out. Yeah, like this is probably like if this was to be exploited to be somewhere like high value state sponsored attacks or some shit. Like
oh yeah,
we're going back to the Cold War shit.
Foreign nationals, definitely.
Because like if this is for anybody else, like everybody else's computers just connect to the internet. I just like get the IP address, fuck heck that shit.
Right.
This right here is like, you have to really want what's on this computer and not be around for it.
Right. That part. This is clandestine mission type shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we got these fat stacks of cash. You know what's been spending fat stacks of cash? Tech lobbyists.
Oh yeah.
They spent over $350 million this year as companies fight antitrust measures.
I'm looking at you, Alphabet, Meta,
Apple, Microsoft.
Apple. Oh yeah, definitely Microsoft. Big time Microsoft.
Let's see. Apple's facing antitrust threats to a whole range of its products and business practices, from Apple Pay to the iPhone ads it obliges carriers to pay for if they want to sell the phone. The company faces antitrust legislation all around the world, including the UK and the 27 countries making up the European Union. But Apple's lobbying is primarily focused on trying to fight US antitrust regulation, which could force the company to allow competing iOS app stores. Bloomberg reported that Apple, Amazon, Meta, and Google have collectively spent $35.3 million on lobbying in the first half of the year. Apple's lobbying spend hit a record $2.5 million in the first quarter, though this fell to $1.9 million in quarter two, the same amount the company spent in the final quarter of last year. It is sad how much money is getting spent to allow companies to just be fucking trash companies. Like, we will give you money to not make us treat our customers and our employees like shit.
Imagine.
And then be like, oh, you have thoughts? Shame on you. Don't tell us how to vote, but keep sending us money.
Right. And then, oh no, they voted in favor of Apple. Look, I was voting my interest in, protecting my constituency. But you are the senator from Missouri. Apple is not Missouri. Look, we have iPhone customers in Missouri. Therefore, Apple is in Missouri.
It's that wonderful video of protesters pleading to Manchin on his boat, on his yacht, named Almost Heaven, the senator from the great state of West Virginia.
I have thoughts and feelings on that, but I don't. Well, I don't know. Well, as Trevor Noah said, that look, they can't find those the Secret Service can't find those text messages, but I'd be damned if they find everything that I had ever said.
And them student loans too.
Sin, I owe you a Negrodamus hat. I'm gonna make Negrodamus hats for us now.
Put it in the merch shop.
Twitter accuses Musk of sabotage and gets the early trial it wanted. Not quite, but earlier than Musk wanted it.
With his musky ass.
The ongoing saga of Elon Musk's purported Twitter takeover should get some kind of resolution this year, thanks to what can only be interpreted as a win for Twitter in Delaware Chancery Court. A hearing was held on July 19th to determine when Twitter's lawsuit against the tech billionaire should go ahead. The social media company asked for a fast resolution and a trial in September, while Musk's lawyers wanted a delay and a date to be set for next year. The judge was Chancellor Kathleen St. Jude McCormick. Boy, if that is a Delawarean name. That just sounds like just northeastern hodgepodgery. This would go on a cup of Ben and Jerry's or some shit name. And the decision was that a trial date will be set for sometime in October 2022. The court concluded that delay of a resolution threatens irreparable harm to Twitter, and the longer the delay, the greater the risk. This is in the context of the takeover sending Twitter share price on a wild ride, and also Musk's ongoing habit of tweeting about the company in a negative light while simultaneously trying to take them over. The judge noted this meant Twitter was currently operating under a cloud of uncertainty. So this man out here, and again, it should be obvious the way he's been acting, it's like sitting there trying to nag on Twitter.
Can we just talk about the amount of this that is just... None of this would have happened if you would have just shut your mouth and eaten your fucking food. I'm gonna tell you something about this week. The way that the articles this week are set up for people who are just like, y'all keep opening your mouth to fuck around and you're finding out real quick to the tune of hundreds of thousands of dollars. Leave people alone. Shut up.
Oh, that's right. We do have another one.
You could have found out at any
Another
point. Like, you
one.
really could have just like done less. At any point, you have so much money. You have a whole company to run that doesn't make working steering wheels for their cars. You could have dealt with that problem, but no, you decided to get on Twitter, clown Twitter, talk about Twitter, and now Twitter is just like,
You literally trying to buy Twitter is doing.
oh wait, mind you,
it's fucking up
buying
your
Twitter.
bag.
By the way, you trying to buy Twitter by taking out a loan on your stock while the value of your stock is dropping. If you want to talk about it, if we want to get into it for a hot second,
Which might be why he's trying to get out of it.
well, I mean, you're not going to now. So
oh no.
First, not his lawyers being like, well, we wanted to have 2023 to set up, and the judge being like, but the way that you've been going off on Twitter, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't have been out here being reckless in the mouth if you weren't prepared to have that trial right now. Let's go ahead and give you October. I want y'all to know that the date that they requested was September 19th. That judge said, I'm gonna give you a 30-day buffer, and that's as gracious as I'm willing to be.
That Sixth Amendment is kicking his ass.
This is what we were talking about last week about being like, you know, after we kind of like unscrambled the wires about what we were meaning to kind of say to each other in that conversation of being like, Elon tried to walk away and pay nothing. And Twitter is like, you can pay us $1 billion to walk away from this, maybe for wasting our time. And Elon said, well, fuck you. And they said, oh, you want to do that in Delaware?
Word.
It's like that.
It's like that though, bro. Okay. Okay.
Watch this though. And the judge slid up and said, you know, like, Tesla's on like, this isn't fair. I feel like they should have just given us the information we needed about the bots. And the judge was like, we can find out about the bots on October. Go home. I was like,
Judge was like, Trapicado, open. And he was like, that was it. It was like it. It's like, you thought, you assumed.
Boy,
and this is
like,
why. This is why I was like, Elon, don't play with it, because this is the court that'll drag you to hell and make you pay that money. Twitter is going to get paid. Now, I saw in the article that you linked this week that the play is kind of maybe that hopefully Twitter won't really push it as far as it could go and just be like, we need to humble you a little bit. There's just kind of like, we're gonna humble you a little bit, but you run us our $1 billion and you get out of here, and you hope you hope that we forget about you.
Right. You'd be like,
But this Chancery Court might legit just be like, no, go ahead and run them that $44 billion.
Yeah,
but here's the thing. But here's the concern. The real tea. If they make him have to pay that $44 billion, he's probably going to have to declare some kind of bankruptcy, because I don't think, like, high key, I don't think he can afford $44 billion.
He's not that liquid.
He's not anymore.
That's why he got that loan. But yeah, again, it's that thing of,
and it was like,
I would not be surprised if the reason why he was asking for an extension is, all right, cool. You know what? Look, the economy is bouncing back. The chip shortage is kind of going to look. Just give me till next year. I know I'm going to lose anyway because I was running my fucking mouth. But by next year, I'll have it and I can just pay to settle and we'll be done. But
like, nah, pay.
But that court is like this.
Because the way that, like, I need y'all to understand the way that these tweets are set up, because Twitter waited until they had the trial, and then Twitter was just like, all right, bitch, here's what's going to happen. Here's what's really going to happen, because we're not doing the way that you're not doing that. Like, we said what we said. We gave you a chance. We tried to have a call in. We tried to keep it quiet. We tried not to make a scene. Now we're gonna go ahead and have the scene. Since you wanted the stage,
we're coming.
we're gonna go ahead and give you the whole scene.
Right.
It's on
we're
you,
coming,
homie. It's open mic night now.
Right. We're coming for what is left of your edges. Okay. That's what we're coming for.
Because you know that's one of those things where Twitter was sitting there all right, and they were just like, can you please collate the papers from the file cabinet and drawer 285, 286, and 289? I need you to go ahead and print those in triplicate. Let's just go ahead and have those here, have those here, have those here. Do we have the recording? Can I get them backed up in 3 different places just in case, so that when we come to this court, because I noticed on this whole thing, they didn't say a whole lot about what Twitter said. They said everything about how Elon was trying to get out of it. And the judge was like, see you in October.
I think not.
Yep. And they need to take his check mark away.
You want to know what would be the ultimate insult to injury if he loses that case?
Mm-hmm.
Give me that $1 billion and get the fuck off our platform.
Oop. That part. Because you got no impact now. You got no impact.
It's not even no impact. It's just like, understand something. You're trolling us on our platform. You can go.
Right. Plus, we
don't owe you an explanation either. You can leave. Because what you gonna do? I'm gonna sue Twitter because they banned my account. Did you not see the court case? I feel like we have a reason.
Right. Yeah. It's like you have always, like, Elon has always portrayed himself as that great disruptor, the great, the great mind of our time, one of the great minds of our time. And he's been like,
wait, are we talking about Kanye?
No, he's talking, yeah.
No, like the wow major, the shade.
Yeah, the shade. Yeah. So he's like portrayed himself as like the great disruptor, the great mind, one of the great minds of our time. The face of Tesla.
This just sounds like Kanye's rant at that Apple store when he crawled on that table.
Right. But see, that's what it really comes down to. It's like a fine line between wealth and madness, where it's like you're literally sitting up there with more money than people will ever see, and you're miserable because you have to portray yourself as some great, intellectual person when you're just nothing but like a dude bro and a troll on the internet with vast amounts of wealth. You're not that clean, bro. You're not that good.
You thought you had some clout because the people at the tech, like the people in the tech industry won't pop off at you, but you came over here into the land of social media. We will eat you alive over here. You will get fucked up on this block over here. What do you mean?
I mean, baby daddies are miserable. Like I say, brothers out here just literally have kids and they will never see, and they got to pay for it.
Well, I mean, at this point, they might not be able to come October,
and they might not be, because when them child support payments start hitting,
because you want to know what's gonna happen, right? Something we sure would hate to see it.
You hiding a child.
We sure would hate to see it.
Not that, like I say, man,
behind that whole thing, his wife peep game, it was just like bad.
Cause like I say, them dudes ain't got it. All of them are divorced. All of them are divorced.
Okay, this is where I need to inform the audience of those of you watching around the world or at home. Having money and trolling people on the internet isn't a personality.
That's not a personality. We've seen it many, 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 many times. Many, many times. More money. Like I say, what they say, more money than brain cells. All of them are divorced. All of them.
But I am so cool. I have had sex with Grimes and I've had a child with her.
And it's an equation, and his name is Equation. That's what.
Mind you, this is a person who believes in radical candor, honesty, and basically being able to say what you need to say. I'm waiting for him to appear as a major figure on a right-wing website so we can just go ahead and call it like it really is.
That's not far off. That's really not far off.
I mean,
but how can he be? How can he
be right to run the platform in the first place?
How can he be such an arbiter for free speech when he fired 5 people for speaking out against him for acting a damn fool on Twitter that got him in trouble in the first place?
Free speech doesn't mean freedom from consequences, apparently, but that's only, there's an asterisk here. And that asterisk means depending on your tax bracket.
Damn it. Did it again. Since you does it again.
So did it again.
The way I'm
another
just gonna
one.
Put this comment out here because the way that I am tired of having to say everything with an asterisk. I literally can't talk as a black person without an asterisk at the end of every sentence.
Yeah, I need to go ahead and get this Steam Deck working. I need that button for saying this nigga spitting.
R.I.P. Jesus Amaro.
Oh my god.
For Dig Boy. But that's another conversation for another day. We gotta move along.
Yeah. Let's see here. Netflix. Good old Netflix. Just doing bad. Just bad. Lost another 1 million subscribers. However, it's still not that bad. They good.
That's the people who unsubscribed at the end of that season of Stranger Things.
Yeah, I need to unsubscribe now that I've caught up on that new standalone complex. Like true talk, I was about to unsub from Netflix until I saw, oh wait, there's a new season of Ghost in the Shell standalone complex. I should watch that, and didn't watch it for a month.
I want to point out here, right? There is like a bit of bloat from COVID, and that part is true, right? We're gonna like that part is accurate, but I feel like it's also relevant to mention that all around things are becoming more expensive, and with all of these people trying to push people to come into the offices and everything, and like gas, transit, all of that stuff, and the price of things just going up in general, people are starting to make decisions. And like, here's the thing, not that we didn't already study this already, not that we didn't have a whole rash of news articles that appeared about it that for about a month of coverage, but when people have a limited amount of resources, whatever extra money they get, they are spending on trying to make sure their immediate and most important material needs are met. And what Netflix is finding out is that it's not having Netflix.
Well,
child, gas is $5 a gallon on 87. We can go ahead and cancel that account for a little bit.
It's 4 now. It's gone down. Gas prices have gone down
to $4.97.
A pack of hot dogs is $5.
A gallon of milk.
Just because.
Yeah, my car runs on milk. Thank you.
I know. Ruin just sat here and went, where did that at?
It's been cheaper here. It's gone down a little bit here. I mean, but I only fill up my tank like once every 2 weeks, though.
Where?
Yeah, I've not noticed the crunch much, other than when I fill up my tank. It's like, oh wait, this costs $60. This is not great.
You know something? I imagine that the reason that you're not feeling the crunch is that, quite honestly, you're just like, you know what? Let me stay my black ass in the house. Let me stay in the house.
Yeah, today's not the day. I'm good.
Yep. That's how you save money. You just don't go nowhere. You just be like, you just don't go nowhere. Stay home. That's what I've been doing. I run these streets for like medical things, food, medicine, Haribo, and I'm back at the house. I can say ain't nothing out here I won't. Only time I went out was on that date, and that was like a month ago.
Wait, is Gas Buddy
I
not a
was like,
website? Oh, there you go. I was like, why the fuck is it not loading? See, find gas. I'm gonna search. I'm gonna put in my old zip code. Oh damn! Even Gas Buddy can't find gas.
Mm-hmm. Boop.
An error occurred while fetching stations. Please try again. Damn. Gas
Maybe
Buddy
like
can't
that.
even find gas.
They'd be like, don't worry about it.
It's
Just
just
gas
too much.
buddy,
It's too
We're not
high.
friends like that.
Gas is too high. Why are you looking? Oh, the AAA. AAA's got gas prices. Yeah, it's like $4 a gallon here. Or $4.10 a gallon in North Carolina.
But that West Coast.
Georgia, three. It's cheaper in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
That's Wisconsin. Michigan, $4.51 in Michigan, so it's a little more expensive in Michigan. Cali, yeah, and Cali's always had higher gas though. Like the average for a gallon of gas is like $4.44. Like it's gone down. I mean, I don't know. Maybe because I see it at like a larger scale because I'm going every 2 weeks. I see huge changes as opposed to everybody else. But I mean, I can say like objectively, gas prices have gone down. They need a ticket to follow that shit like they have for crypto. Wait, Ruin. What happened with what just randomly happened with Microsoft now? I mean, outside of they providing ad services for Netflix for the cheaper account, which also I did not include. But yeah, Netflix's ad supported version will not include some of the original content. Will not have all of the Netflix original content. Sounds kind of like Peacock, except at least what Peacock. The ad-supported version was fucking free. You weren't paying for ad-supported.
Mm-hmm.
Like Hulu.
And it's in a way, it's kind of subsidized because it's like it's just a facilitation of the content. It's like we have the content, we're just paying for your access to the content.
But again, you shouldn't cut off access to the whole breadth of content that you have.
Oh no, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do that.
Like Peacock doesn't do that. Like you can Yeah, like if you pay for Peacock, which is weird,
Right.
and I hated this because I did not know this initially. I found out like later on that evening when I started using, because I subscribed to Peacock to watch the Super Bowl this year. That's the reason why. That's the only reason why I have it, is because I wanted to watch the Super Bowl. So I subscribed to Peacock at the I think it's like the $5 level, the base tier. And I was like, okay, so cool, I got it. And I can watch things ad free or whatever. I can watch Peacock. Come to find out they still had ads. And it's like I had to get to the next step to get rid of the ads. And of course, like Kev says, I will do anything to get rid of ads. But at least with paying the base price with the ads, I still had access to everything. I was able to watch Bel Air just fine. Ruin is installing .NET on a server. It isn't installing fuck Microsoft. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but yeah, I agree. But yeah, so Netflix with their ad-supported stuff that is being supported by Microsoft's ad platform, you will not have access to some of that original Netflix content. So keep that in mind if you were trying to save a couple of bucks on your Netflix subscription in the near future. Also, in I think either Latin America or South America, they are testing the password sharing feature. Apple agrees to pay $50 million to customers with the faulty MacBook keyboards. Of course, if you remember back in the early days of the Touch Bar and USB Type-C only Macs, they had those butterfly switches for keyboards, and they fucking sucked so much. They were terrible to type on, but apparently they were also just terrible quality. It kept breaking on people. So apparently some people got around to form a class action lawsuit, and Apple settled and is paying some money. So good for those people who joined in that lawsuit. CloudMensis spyware is being actively used in the wild to steal private data from Macs. So, of course, I just wanted to include this to say, hey, be careful what you click. Be careful where you go. Also, if you have a Mac, remember, you are not immune to vulnerabilities and malware. You're not.
And that's okay. We can just be smart about these things.
Yeah. Well, now we're over in, look, see, it was a smooth transition. We're still talking about Apple, but we're now in the gaming section.
Ow.
Apple argues to get App Store injunction thrown out in Epic versus Apple appeal. Of course, you remember last year, there was a decision between Epic. I guess you can call it that, but the Apple versus Epic lawsuit, where technically both companies won, but both companies lost, and they both felt like they lost, so then they both appealed the decision. So yeah, now that fuckery is back around. And Apple is like saying, hey, you know what? You should throw out Epic's appeal because what Epic is appealing for won't necessarily apply to them, because Epic isn't an Apple developer. Take a journey back with me. If you remember at the beginning of all this, when Epic decided they wanted to charge, allow people to buy V-Bucks directly from the Epic store, Apple not only removed Fortnite, but they removed Epic's access to Apple's developer network. Epic Games they can no longer develop games on Macs, iPhones, iPads, nothing. So fast forward to now, Apple is saying that anything that Epic is arguing doesn't even fucking matter, because Epic can't benefit from it because they are no longer on the iOS platform. Which says two things to me. One, as much as I wish there was somebody else doing this, I still feel like Epic is fighting for all the other developers out there who would like to have access to other ways of monetizing their content without having to go through Apple. Therefore, their lawsuit, their appeal should not be thrown out. Two, in the event that the appeal does not get thrown out, Epic does win their appeal. Epic wins the appeal. Apple will still not reinstate Epic to the Apple Store. They're just saying, you're fucking gone forever. You're not coming back. Just no.
See, this is the future, Elon. This is the future right here.
In more Apple news, Apple Arcade adds new Leaving Soon tab with 15 titles to be removed in the near future. So of course, for those who may not know, Apple does have an arcade subscription service where you pay $5 a month, you get access to like hundreds of games you can download to your iPhone, your iPad, Mac, and Apple TV. Well, they never really mentioned what would happen if games leave, mainly because a lot of these games that were signed on to join Apple Arcade were signed to 3-year contracts, and we're hitting that 3-year mark now. So now they've added a tab to say, hey, these games will be leaving Apple Arcade which meant that Apple did not renew those contracts to keep those games in the store. Which was interesting enough because it never really, like, when the news popped up that this was happening, there was really no idea as to what would happen to those games once they left Apple Arcade. Well, we found out. It was detailed that the game, like the apps, these games will leave Apple Arcade. They are free to repackage the game to be sold in the App Store. However, it will be given like a different ID associated to the app, which means that any progress, anything you bought for that game cannot be transferred from Apple Arcade to the non-Apple Arcade version of the game. So it's almost the equivalent of, you know, you bought some DLC for Yakuza and they took Yakuza off of Game Pass. But you can buy it in an Xbox Game Store. But all the DLC you bought for the game does not work with that version because it's different than the Game Pass version. You're right, Ruin. This digital only future ain't looking great. So, yeah. Speaking of things that you won't have access to anymore, the Nintendo confirms that 3DS and Wii U eShops closure dates are on March 27th, 2023. Nintendo confirmed the date today and reminded 3DS and Wii U owners that August 29th, 2022 is the deadline for adding eShop card funds to your account.
I'm sorry, what was that? Emulation. I'm sorry. What was that again? What? Who said that?
I mean, I'm hearing open sourcing things from the chat too, which again I would support, but who's willing to do that work to do it? And also, how would you? I mean, outside of like
to do what?
Outside of emulation, how would you play those games?
Handheld devices. What now? What was that again? Who said that?
It's really up to the dev if they want you to let saves transfer. I'm more worried about them carving up the game so that you have to buy DLC to get back to the game you were used to playing.
It depends. I know that there are at least a handful of things. Like, I think something to keep in mind for people who are already working on solutions to these questions. Like, there's like a whole like set of like open source tech projects built around giving people access to old video games. There aren't a small amount of them either. There's actually a pretty sizable amount of them. If we want to see what this is, because a lot of, how do I say this? A lot of articles for things like this present these things like, how are we ever going to deal with these insurmountable problems? Like people haven't already been laying the groundwork to deal with those things.
I mean, so like it says, the dev can and absolutely upload the source code to GitHub or some code hub. Emulation has been huge for at least a decade. You're right. Again, it's not the argument of whether they can or they can't. It's the argument of will they? And for a lot of people, as much as, you know, you would like to think that everybody's just inherently altruistic and they would just love to do things to support the consumer and make sure that they preserve their games. But let's look at what's going on in Japan.
Nintendo exists.
Yeah, like
Nintendo exists. That's all you have to say about that as a argument. Nintendo exists. When I say Nintendo exists, right? Like, we would like to believe that these people and developers will put these games up on here, but here you have with Nintendo coming after people for games that are decades old that they never planned on re-releasing, remastering, remaking, or anything like that they don't even sell. So
I mean, like, say, there's that, but also just looking at, like, not even from a, hey, we're coming after you because you're emulating an old game, but like the access to that source code and why we still don't have access to source code from games from 20, 30 years ago. And it's because of the fact that a lot of developers, a lot of publishers thought that that was just fucking trade secrets, and we're not putting that shit out there because that is our intellectual property. And no. What do you think we are, fucking id? So again, yeah, it's not the fact that they can't do it, it's the fact that they won't do it. Because again, we've seen this for so long, and that's what's important for us to try to get whatever cartridges we can get. Make sure we hold on to CDs and DVDs and Blu-rays, because everything like the code, it no longer exists.
Mm-hmm.
Like for a lot of these developers who've been putting games on the App Store, who's to say what they've done with that code, whether or not it exists? Because a lot of them aren't big name studios where they would have huge Git repositories of all their code.
Yeah.
Like it's just a couple of dudes like working 10 time zones away, working on a game collaboratively. They saved it somewhere and now the code is fucking gone. Or something like Hello Games could happen where the fucking studio floods and then they lose all that data. Like they just forgot to back it up one day.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the issue that we run into. No Man's. So apparently they did have a backup of No Man's Sky, but not like, I guess, a good enough backup to where, sure, they could have continued the day before's work, the day prior's work, the next day. Because they had to delay No Man's Sky because the studio was flooded.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's a thing of like, yeah, nobody. Yeah, so this happened back in 2014. Oh, no. So yeah, December 24th, 2013. When he got the text from his neighbor with the news that his building was flooding, Murray didn't think things were going to be too bad, but he still rushed down to see what was happening. Panic set in when he arrived. Most days, Hello Games HQ is occupied by employees, friends, and family. Literally, there's always someone in the office. Not so that Tuesday in December, it was Christmas Eve, and an exception to that rule, people were home celebrating. The place was empty, and water was rising. Yeah, so this was back in Christmas Eve 2013. Yeah, where like their studio flooded. They lost progress on that game. So like shit happens where you lose access to that source code. And yet like people kind of consider it intellectual property. So whether or not they are willing to share that data, or even if they can, is another statement. So yeah, it would be nice if they open sourced it, but yeah, I mean you got legal to worry about, people's intellectual properties, what that looks like. I mean, keep in mind too, like open source with regards to just like IP law is fairly new. Speaking of things you can probably get for cheap, though, how about some CD Projekt Red stock? CD Projekt Red stock is worth a quarter of what it was before Cyberpunk 2077 released. In the weeks leading up to Cyberpunk's launch, CDP shares were trading at around 4,000 of... I don't know what the symbol is. That still didn't help. A Poland zloty? Hold on. Will you tell me what this is? Zwat?
What are you looking at?
The Cyberpunk article, or the CD Projekt Red article.
Oh. Not this. All right, so what's going on here?
In the weeks leading up to Cyberpunk's launch, CDP shares were trading at around 400 SWAT each, hitting 443 SWAT a share only 6 days before the game's release. The story since then has been one of sharp falls and brief plateaus, with CDP shares and market cap having in value in the first few months of 2021, then almost halving again since the end of March this year. So
I guess the question would
wow.
be...
So like a week before release, yeah, it was the highest that stock had been.
I guess the question would be, I guess, is this one of those talking about the long tail of a launch of a game like that? Is that the point of this article?
I think so.
I don't understand,
like the fact that they still rushed it out the door, was poorly optimized. Like, it just, I mean, say what you want to, because I see Tycho is defending the story to high heaven. The fact that, like, nobody, like, you, like, the story is one thing, but if you can't play the fucking game to experience the story, what good is the story? Like, I played it on PC, so yes, for the most part, I was able to play the game and experience the story, and I will agree with Tycho, like, that story actually was pretty decent. But
I guess that's
for everybody who bought that game on console, because remember, it came out on Xbox One and PS4, and on those consoles, let's not talk about the next gen consoles, which came out prior to the release of this game, but on the consoles that they were released for, the game played like hot fucking garbage.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also have to, like, talk about this, because there was also, like, it was a mix of, like, this game is buggy as hell, and also, like, a handful of ways that they handled some situations in the game, if I'm not mistaken, at the time that it came out, were like, okay, y'all, this is problematic, but, like, if y'all are going to play the game, go play the game. And then there was, like, a whole bunch of, like, discourse and debate around that on, like, you know, across, like, Twitter and streaming space and all this other stuff. But also, I think the thing that stocks really point to isn't necessarily what people thought about Cyberpunk 77, which is what bothers me about this article. Because it's like, you're talking about what happened based on one point in time in which a video game also came out, like, it's devoid of other factors for why stock prices drop. Because stock prices aren't about what people thought about one thing a company made. It's what people think about a whole company.
But, and my video froze again. Hooray. Damn it. I really need to figure out what the fuck is happening. Another time. But keep in mind, what else was CD Projekt doing prior to Cyberpunk?
What, The Witcher, right?
Right. And The Witcher 3 was a critical success.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and I mean, it's you know,
like
Gwent
still, and Witcher, like, for a, and like, especially like with Gwent, like they bringing Gwent out of The Witcher, and even then it was still doing decent.
Mm-hmm.
So
And it's not like that.
It's
It's not like like it's being worth a quarter of its like previous value. Like it only means so much. And it's not like it means that the company's doing poorly. It's just not doing, I guess, like exceptionally well or
I
whatever.
don't know. I don't know because if it's doing like if it's doing a quarter of what it was trading at the time of the game's release, or at or around the time of the game's release, I would still put that on the game because it's not like they were doing anything else. Like they released Witcher 3 back in 2015. It had been 5 years since they put out a game. If we don't include Gwent. Yes, I am frozen. Thank you. I'm aware, but I'm using my hands right now to gesticulate wildly that nobody can see. They haven't made a game since 2015, and like as you can see, like this only starts just like it's at 2017. They've only been going up since then, and the only game they had was Witcher 3. And then Gwent. And like they own GOG. So like they were developing Cyberpunk during all of this time until they released it. And as you can see on December 11th, a day after release, they took a nosedive. Like that was the beginning of it. And then it just, whatever they gained over time from here, like see how long it took them to get to this point? They got back and then lower than this point in far shorter time with the release of one game. Well, all of them doing damage control, trying to patch it to get things working, not having the next gen titles ready to go, but just rushing rushing the game out the door. Like I can see if like, sure, like they had other things on the fire. If CD Projekt was putting out other things, but they only put out one game. They've still been working on one game. Like they talk about Witcher 4, but I don't want to see shit with Witcher 4 until they can sit there and make things absolutely right with Cyberpunk. Unless they just say, all right, you know what? Yeah, fuck it. We just couldn't do it. We can't make Cyberpunk the way we envisioned, and we're just going to cancel active development. We're moving on to Witcher 4. Which, obviously, you'd see that dip down even further. So it's like, I see what you're saying, but this is, in my opinion, directly because of one game. Because of one bad release. Because they hyped it to high hell, and they did not deliver. You don't see this with EA when Mass Effect Andromeda and Anthem flop because EA's got other games to bring in revenue.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Ubisoft and Rainbow Six Siege. You won't see that with Ubisoft because Ubisoft has other games. You won't say this will take two which will never I feel like it will never happen, but again, Take Two could also if Rockstar was its own company, I can see Rockstar getting to a point where CD Projekt is, where it's like they cut out active development on Red Dead 2. They put out GTA 6 and GTA 6 is absolute dog shit. But that won't ever happen to Take Two because Take Two has all these other studios to kind of feed in. See, Hazelnut says, so what do you think about game developers releasing DLC or games way before actual release, like American Truck Sim with Texas DLC? Going on 2 years almost now and still not released. Should they release info so early or should they wait? Honestly, I think they should wait. don't say shit until you got something concrete.
Yeah, I agree.
But, and part of me is kind of torn with that very statement when it comes to CD Projekt, because they don't make games that often.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, again, they have to be beholden to shareholders. So it's like, hey, we are making something. We don't know when it's going to come out, but we're making something. Here it is.
Right. The literal, like, full court press of what they did for Cyberpunk kind of like, was their undoing.
Well, I'm talking about like, I'm talking about like when they first announced Cyberpunk so far away.
Right. Because, I mean, they announced Cyberpunk like almost damn near like 8 years ago. Like, it was a long time before that initial teaser trailer came out. Then once we start seeing like further, more concrete-esque things.
Yeah. So Cyberpunk was announced 2013.
Yes. So, yeah, pretty much more than 8 years ago. But yeah, it's and then once we had something more concrete, more fleshed out, instead of it being like vaporware or in developmental hell, then it was like, all right, full court press, Night City Wave, gameplay, developer visions, developer video, live streams. This can run on PS4 and Xbox and Xbox One and that kind of stuff. So that built up a lot of hype that it really couldn't, and it really wasn't ready and was prepared to give. So when those initial pushbacks happened, when the initial delays happened, again, the hype was palatable. But they needed that time.
Yeah, I mean, so,
and they shouldn't have released on the last gen. They should have been like, this is next gen PC, next gen, blah.
Yeah, so geez, why does my mic sound like it's so far away? Yeah, okay, that's weird. Yeah, my USB is doing weird shit now. When is it never not doing weird shit? Yeah, my whole thing was like, yes, they did fix it over time. It does run better. Also, like, I feel like I'm the wrong person to ask because I upgraded hardware since then too.
Yeah.
I mean, and when they released it for the Xbox Series X and the PS5, that was the best experience of that game I ever had. Like,
yes,
true talk. Like, when I played the they had like a 10-hour or 6 or 10-hour demo that you can download on the Series consoles. I played the shit out of it. Like, I played it up till like that brain dance sequence, that little brain dance where you're learning how to do the brain dance. And I can't stand doing it. I hate that sequence. So that's why I stopped. But playing up to that point, like, it was the smoothest I've ever played that game. Whether it was on my Ryzen, I think my Ryzen 9 and 1080, GTX 1080, or even here on my 3080 Ti, playing on my Xbox Series X was the smoothest I'd ever played that game. And like, let's see here. When did Xbox Series X? February 15th, 2022. So let's see here. Yeah, so it was like it got a small little bump right when that game was about to be released on the on the current gen consoles now. But yeah, it's a thing of like, what have you done for me lately? Like, honestly, it's like when you hear that developers and publishers are making like cryptocurrencies and NFTs for games. Like, you have a very loud group of people who are saying, "Hey, don't do this." it's the same group of people probably who were looking at games like Cyberpunk said, look, if you need time, take time.
Mm-hmm.
We can wait.
Yes.
But again, like, they're not beholden to us, they're beholden to the shareholders, and I'm pretty sure they were all chomping at the bit to get some ROI, which they did not get.
They didn't get it. So again, so it's really truly part of, sometimes you have to just take the L, a smaller L, as opposed to the bigger L. You have to see the bigger picture.
But again, money talks.
And money talks. And then
everybody took a bad bet on that.
Right. And then, Xbox and PlayStation were like, fuck no, take the game off the storefront. Where they literally, and the game was like mud for the months it needed to take to get better.
Yeah.
When they could have just took that time and let it get better. See, it became better, but it needed time.
Well, for fairness to them in the middle of all of this, I think we're also starting to see the further as the further time goes on, some of the things that drive some of those decisions, terrible as they are. Some of them coming from higher levels of leadership, and some of them coming from people who literally write death threats because you said,
right,
hey, maybe we should delay that game just a little bit. To the point that companies are just like, we've gone from being like the ones who are left, and I kind of want to point that out, the ones who are left, because so many of them are just like, y'all don't pay me enough to like be like verbally abused and like all of that and have death threats into my house and all this bullshit. So we're not going to do that, and have withdrawn from talking to people. And the ones who are left are just like, nah, fuck you. I will walk up to you in the street and dog walk you. I will stomp a mud hole in you and walk it dry. We're not doing all of this. And between that happening to the people who are actually doing the work and the people who are completely shielded from consequences, making decisions that people can't just decide not to do, I think that's how we end up in decisions, or like end up in moments like Kevin's describing here, where companies just put things out and they just are not at all where they should be. Because if you ask a person on the ground who's like doing the code and stuff, they're just like, we begged them for more time.
The QA
would not listen.
Didn't the QA come out and say, like, look, we told them this was shit?
Right.
Like, in the case of what, Cyberpunk specifically?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Absolutely, that absolutely happened. So like that was on Twitter too, of people being like, people were being asked to work extra hours to push the project out, and people were also like, hey, putting the project out in its current state isn't a good idea. We need more time. And they were just like, well, you don't have it, so you better make it work. And so now you have this. It's one of those, again, where the article talks about this stuff, and it's kind of like, you can't just say things like this without also providing a ton of context about why things are that way.
Here's what it says. Okay. So Big Ambitions just released that they are delaying their game because they have had such a large following that they want to take more time to develop their game even further. So it's supposed to release in August, but now they're delaying it until November so they can add more features. What do I think? What do we think about that? That's good news.
Every single time a company of any size, but let's say a big one, a company that I've been looking forward to having their work forever, goes, hey, we're gonna, like, in order to not have people working ridiculous hours and to put out a game that's at the quality that you have come to expect from us, we're going to delay that a little bit. I literally take a whole minute and applaud the computer.
Yeah.
If Ubisoft wants to delay that new Kingdom Mario and Rabbids game, be my guest. Yeah. Be my guest.
Yep.
Because I've had most of the titles that I go for are like smaller indie titles, but every time they're just like, hey, it's going to take us a little bit more time to do this or do this or do that.
Yeah.
yes, please take the time that you need to do things, because I would rather have it done correctly than to have to deal with not having the game in a playable state when I get it. Take the
the
time that you need to
way
take.
the way that the developers of Bear and Breakfast said, yeah, we're not 100% good with the controller setup, so we're going to delay the Switch version of the game until we get it together. We're going to release the PC version. That's going to be used with keyboard and mouse, but that update will be coming later, you know, that will be coming later. So they're saying, yeah, we're releasing it because it's done and it's finished, but we don't really like how the controller is. We don't like how the buttons are buttoning, you know. So we're just gonna release it on the PC. Y'all just can play that with keyboard and mouse for now, and then once we feel comfortable with it on PC, then we'll release a patch. Then we're gonna also release it on the Switch once that's ironed out. That's on the indie side.
And I mean, let's look at Saints Row, which was supposed to have been out by now.
Right.
And they delayed that until next month. Like, I'm like, cool. Like, I want to get back in this. I would like to actually get into Saints Row. I did not like the direction that the Saints Row that we have went into.
Right.
Like, this just seems like very, very cringy old humor. And I think we talked about that last week.
Mm-hmm.
Or I know I talked to somebody about that, like, within the last 2 weeks.
Like, I'll say that too. Like, I feel that if you are really like a fan of a game series, like a true fan of a game series, you should always be happy whenever the time is taken to like do your game right.
Because you're gonna get a better game for it.
Because I can't think of a single person who truly loves Saints Row who would have been like, oh, okay, well, that's a little bit disappointing. I was hoping to play it sooner. But I mean, if you're going to take the time to do it right, please take the time to do it right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because here's the thing. We have seen what happens when a company does not take the time to do things right and how much it can take to fix that. I want y'all to look at the Sonic movie.
Mm-hmm.
No Man's Sky, Rainbow Six Siege.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But again, the difference between No Man's Sky, the difference between No Man's Sky and Cyberpunk is Hello Games is a small company. It was not hitting them as hard. The difference between Rainbow Six Siege and Cyberpunk was the fact that Ubisoft had other games to fall on until they fixed it. Same thing with Assassin's Creed, with Assassin's Creed series. Wish you could say the same about Mass Effect Andromeda, Anthem, and Battlefield 2042.
Yeah.
You wish you could say the same about those. Like those just like I think that is an EA problem. It's like they will release it, realize it's bad, they'll try to fix it, and it's like, you know what, fuck it, we could be doing something else.
Right. We got your money. It's like the money hit the bank account. We're just gonna let it rock. And I don't like that.
I feel like they are pushing the marketing for Saints Row. They aren't pushing the marketing for Saints Row though. They push it, then realized it was going to take longer, and they didn't push any longer. I think we're going to start seeing some stuff towards the end of this month into August. They just some people in the game, some folks in Games Press actually got to play 4 hours of Saints Row, either this week or last week. So it's getting into people's hands. People are playing it now or have played it, and they're some thoughts are coming out. I have not read any of it though. Let's see what else is. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Something else was pushed. I mean, Scorn. My eyes are always just drawn to Scorn for some reason. I don't know why. I just can't help myself. But Scorn, we heard about Scorn and then never heard anything about it until they were like, all right, cool, we got a date now.
Right.
Honestly, I feel like there was really nothing much else we could see of Scorn that would do anything for that game. Just look at it. It looks like Alien, but even more gross and interactive.
Yes. They were like, we'll show you what we have to show, and then when we have something, we'll let you know. I think that's fair. Back in my day, you ain't know a game. You ain't know if you didn't know a game came out until you went to Walmart and it was like, oh, there's a new game come out.
Yeah.
Unless you had like EGM or like Nintendo Power, you ain't know. You didn't know. You did not know a game came out. You had
Or
still.
GameStop. They give you the printout with the releases.
Oh, so you go. Nah, no, not even GameStop. I'm talking about Babbage's, my guy. I'm talking about electronic money.
That's all the same company though.
Electronic boutique. At the time.
Oh yeah, at the time it wasn't.
Not at the time, baby.
I remember when No, look, because you reminded me. You're right. I do remember that because at a mall that I used to frequent when I was a kid, there was a GameStop and there was an EB Games. Then when GameStop bought EB Games, they just became two GameStops.
Exactly. They
didn't close a store. There's just two GameStops.
Yeah. It's like two Starbucks across, like a Starbucks in front of a Starbucks. That's what I'm saying. Like back in the day, the only way you knew is if you like went to like Blockbuster and knew a game was going to come out, or or movie, or like Hollywood Video or whatever. If you didn't have the access to the ancient websites of the day, or or didn't go to like a Funko Land or a Blockbuster Games. I am very old if I'm showing my age there. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like a KB toy store, you didn't know when games came out. You'd be like, oh shoot, there's a new Pokemon coming out, or you seen it on TV, when the commercials came out.
Well, we can wax poetic about back in the day when we didn't know when games were coming out. But let's talk about games that have come out and how they're doing in sales. I felt like I wanted to cover some NPD numbers this week. Just because we don't, and I just wanted to this week. It was number one title, or I'm sorry, the month of June hardware spending fell. God damn it. Where am I at? All right, let's just start at the beginning. The NPD Group has released its June 22 report covering video game hardware, software, and accessory sales in the U.S. According to the NPD, total video game industry spending declined 11% year over year to $4.3 billion despite growth in subscription spending. Boy, I tell you, when you say it declined 11% to $4.3 billion, like, it's still a billion with a B, dog. Like, okay. Year-to-date spending declined 10% to $26.3 billion with a B compared to June 2021. For the month of June, hardware spending fell 8% year over year to $371 million, and console spending reached $2.1 billion, a 9% year over year decline. Again, as more people get hold of hardware, they're not spending as much, which is strange because now availability is becoming less and less of an issue. PlayStation 5 generated the highest dollar sales for the first half of the year and for June, with Switch leading in both periods in unit sales. June PS5 dollar sales experienced double-digit % growth when compared to a year ago because there's now more of them. Elden Ring was once again the best-selling game of the month on the software chart and remains the best-selling game of 2022 year to date. Elden Ring has placed first in dollar sales in 4 of its first 5 months in market. April's number one title, Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, was once again the second bestseller for the month, followed by Overwatch. I think people are really trying to get into Overwatch 2 beta, which returned to the chart for the first time since October 2019. All right, to be fair, I also bought that, so... But I'm practicing for my esport team.
Okay. But
I know. Its re-entry is attributed to the release of the Overwatch 2 beta. See? I called it before I read it. F1 2022 debuted in 4th place, followed by Call of Duty Vanguard, just one of 4 Call of Duty titles sitting in... Wait, one of fucking 4? What the fuck? I'm sorry. Wait, what? Call of Duty Vanguard. Wait. This is one of 4. I only see one. The fuck are they talking about? Just one of 4 Call of Duty titles sitting in the top 10. Like, I'm looking at the top 10, right? Unless this is not the same list they're referencing. I don't know. Because that top 10, there's only Call of Duty Vanguard, but yeah, I don't know. Final Fantasy VII Remake was the 9th best-selling game of June 2022, which is a significant jump after placing 159th in May. The rise is attributed to Square Enix's promotional events leading into the Final Fantasy VII 25th anniversary. Also, it was released on PC. It was just on... They released it on PC. Everybody was going to wait to play that game on damn PC. Only us impatient folks bought it on a PS4. Then I sold it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so those are the numbers for console, for gaming. We got some mobile stuff, accessory stuff, but I'm not going to go into that. And more in another edition of Fuck Around and Find Out, Bungie sues Destiny 2 player following online harassment. Bungie is not fucking playing. Don't come after our community. Do not come after our employees. We will fucking clap you up.
Mm-hmm.
The energy that I love to see, that right there.
Mm-hmm. Sure as hell will.
Bungie has filed a lawsuit against a Destiny 2 player accusing them of cheating and harassing the game's developers. The player, Luca Leone, regularly streamed the game using cheats on his Twitch channel, Miffy's World, for which Bungie repeatedly banned him. Leone created 13 separate accounts in an attempt to evade bans, with each account violating the game's limited software license agreement. Leone sent threatening messages from his Twitter account about his desire to burn down Bungie's offices and declaring certain Bungie employees were not safe, as he intended to move to their neighborhood, including community manager Dylan Gaffner. Further, the lawsuit alleges that Leone is an active member of OG Users, a hacking and selling forum where he sells non-transferable Destiny 2 emblems and other social media accounts. As Bungie has demonstrated repeatedly, it will not allow its game, its community, or its employees to be abused, defrauded, or threatened. Leone has done all three, and this action is the consequence, reads the lawsuit. It will be a vast understatement to merely describe Leone as a serial ban evader and cheater, it continues, before listing each new account and subsequent ban. Leone tweeted an image of Gaffner's employee badge, responded that he'd be moving to a place 30 minutes away from DMG, and then replied, "He is not safe." Other tweets included threatening arson, warning Bungie to keep its doors locked, and other harassment of community managers. The lawsuit also details his boasting on ban evasions and his emblem sales, as well as Bungie's methodology of identifying Leone through his various accounts. Bungie is seeking considerable damages for each instance of copyright infringement and use of cheating software. The lawsuit follows on from others from Bungie recently, where they sued the fake Destiny 2 DMCA takedown guy and sued some other cheaters.
Mm-hmm.
Bungie is not about this shit.
Yeah, Bungie out here coming for edges.
Bungie said, "Let's do this." Like, they done took out the acrylic nails and everything. When they said they are ready to go, they tied the do-rag back. They put on the Reebok Classics. They said, "Catch me outside."
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, go get them, Bungie. Go get them.
Mm-hmm.
Go.
Bungie about to run up on y'all acting heinous out here like T-Pain runs up on racist and COD. Y'all better leave Bungie alone.
And see Bungie got that Sony money now. Ooh.
Don't fuck with my game. You don't fuck with my money. You don't fuck with my community. I'm coming for that ass.
Edges will be snatched. Mm-hmm.
Tony Hawk developers at rebranded Blizzard Albany announced union plans.
Yay. I support it.
There is something that is uniquely sweet that this is happening under Bobby Kodak's watch because they can't get rid of him. So now he has to be in the middle of all of that.
In the middle of it.
Oh, and look, it's another QA. It's another group of QA staff.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Bobby gone.
Remarkable. No idea where that came from. Straight out of nowhere.
It's one of those like they can't get rid of Bobby now because they probably gonna wait till Phil firmly has the reins for it to probably do it. But yeah, Bobby's not your man anymore. Bobby's not your guy anymore. Bobby messing up.
Oh, he been messed up.
So, he been messed up, but he's not your guy anymore. He's not your guy anymore. You know,
just nothing but a bunch look. It's just nothing but a bunch of entitled millennials just bitching and complaining and whining about something. He ain't got nothing to worry about.
Right? Because no, does because
being facetious.
Once Papa Phil takes over,
he's good anyway. He got that golden parachute.
That's what I'm saying. He's not going. He's going. Hopefully, he will take all his millions of dollars and sit his hand down.
Well, that's the plan. He won't be a part of Activision, but again, he ain't gonna sit down.
Right.
He probably gonna move around. Probably work for a GOP. You know.
That's what he. Then that'd be great. Now you can get clown. Now you can get clowned by senators.
They getting
all fun and games till you go to Congress, baby.
They getting younger and younger. And I just stay the same.
And I just say the same.
Connect Your Worlds Discord voice chat comes to Xbox console for Xbox insiders and eventually to everybody. So no longer do you have to fight whether or not you're going to be in Discord or Xbox party chat if you're playing PC with your Xbox friends.
Mm-hmm.
You just all be on Discord. It's gonna be great.
Either way, we on Discord.
We won. PC gamers, we won.
PC gamers been winning for a hot minute, so
yeah, we did it.
Yeah, this just another W.
For those who may be playing Neopets still, be careful. Neopets has been hacked and data for almost 69 million accounts appear to be up for sale. Users' personal account data may have been stolen, including passwords and IPs, along with the site's source code.
Oh, Lord.
They came in for a little bit of everything.
What's next? Webkins?
I have no idea. Oh, excuse me. Jeez. I have no idea what Neopets is. I've heard of Neopets, but I couldn't tell you what the fuck they do.
One of those old school games like Gaia Online and all of that.
Club Penguin,
earlier days of the internet,
Toontown, that kind of stuff.
Oh, but it's been associating itself with NFTs, so it's trying to stay hip.
To be fair,
Jerry says, can't they just let us keep our nostalgia? Neopets wasn't letting you keep your nostalgia.
No, they don't. This ain't. Yeah, this is the people who have the nostalgia, who's banking on this nostalgia. This ain't like some dude, bro, who's like, yo, guys, NFTs are the future, man. Nah, it's the companies that sell that are doing it. You know, I
she's
knew.
she's talking about Neopets.
Yeah. See, I knew NFTs were going out of control when I was watching Mass Singer, and Mass Singer was talking about get your Mass Singer NFTs here at this website, and I booed my television, and my mom was like, "Why are you booing the television? Because NFTs."
Mom.
And then I'm like, and then my mom's like, "What is NFTs?" And I was like, "Mom, I can't. You don't. There is not enough time. Just know they're bad."
It was a mess before the NFTs. Then maybe they've been on some fuck shit, and that's why they got hacked. Like a password must have been set to password.
Yep.
It wasn't a hack. They just left the door wide open.
Yeah. What? I'm like, what is a hack and what is a breach? You know, because that really could smack of a breach. Because I think people are getting hack and breach mixed up.
I feel like hack and breach are the same thing. If your password is password and I type that shit in, nah, you just left the door open.
Yeah, that's like somebody just walked in there.
Yeah, like if I left my door unlocked and somebody walked in my house, you did not breach anything. You just walked in.
That's intrusion.
Not necessarily a breach. You intruded, but you ain't supposed to be here. But you didn't breach anything. You just walked through an unlocked door.
More of an intrusion. Yeah, more of
an unwanted visitor.
Yeah. Like I'm just like that's a hot note for me. Oh, Jerry, whenever you get a chance, watch Beanie Mania. If you got HBO Max, go watch Beanie Mania, because it's pretty much, imagine an entire Beanie Baby market that has basically been propped up, not really exploded by 5 white women, by 5 women. Like
the NFTs are the Beanie Babies of our generation.
Bro, I don't have those fancy channels. Oh,
the Furbies, the fucking. Damn, we have this same fucking discussion, because now I was gonna think about that damn robotic dog. Poochie.
Oh,
Poochie. Yes,
I think I had one of those.
Now on to streaming news. Twitch streamers positive about new raid feature in response to harassment. At TwitchCon Amsterdam, streaming giant Twitch announced a number of new safety features coming soon to the platform. This includes the ability for streamers to customize who can raid them, plus the ability to share a list of banned accounts with other streamers, which, hey, I've got more details on in the next article. Both of these features are in response to massive waves of hate raids that affected marginalized streamers last year, which I imagine is still ongoing, but not in a very publicized way. The features were introduced at the opening ceremony by Twitch CEO Emmett Shear. Quote, "We're never going to be done with safety on Twitch. It's a goal without end. When we say we want Twitch to be the best place to be a streamer, we mean making your experience with chat safe to be an essential part of that goal. One major priority for us is raising the safety baseline. That's the level of protection you can expect from Twitch without having to do anything at all," end quote.
Remember when we thought that Emmett was not part of Twitch anymore? I guess that answers our question with, yeah, he's actually here now.
So he could not keep up with who was who, like DJ Weed, Image. I thought DJ Weed and Image Shear were the same person.
No, yeah, Emmett has always been like CEO of Twitch, but it was like, was he actually driving the boat? That's what we were kind of wondering, because we hadn't heard from him in a hot minute.
I'll say here, this is going to have some really interesting implications, because there are some people who, because it's a meme in a handful of places, and it's a kind of a fun meme of being like banned by this person, because like part of one of those features is having a shareable list of things, like a shareable like ban list of people or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this isn't the ban list. This is more or less the raid part. We haven't got to the bans yet.
Yeah, we got.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, we can switch over to that one.
Although,
Twitch creators can share their banned user list.
I think the other thing, though, if you're talking about like the raid list and things, isn't like I don't know how far that feature is. I hope they make it. I hope they also like include possible line commands or just easy ways to manage all of that stuff that are also like relatively easy to get to. Because the way that I would rather, in some cases, use a line command than go into a menu for anything.
I mean, to do what though?
Mm.
Like if I wanted to like spot add a person, like spot add a particular channel to add to that list of people who can or cannot rate me.
It doesn't seem like there is a way to actually generate a list of people who can. I mean, unless you have like a team, it's based off of channels I follow, channels on my auto host list, which I guess that could be it. If you put everybody in your auto host list and check that.
I'll take a, like it's one of those things of at least I can say I feel like it's headed in the right direction. I'll be curious to see how the feature actually works out and how it evolves.
But yeah, it doesn't seem like you can create a list like, hey, here are the people who can rate me. But I guess if you were to have a list like that, do an auto host list. But then that's the thing too, where you are then also saying, hey, I would host these people if I were not online. But then that, I feel like that would severely limit the people who would want to raid you, especially if you're a bigger streamer. Or maybe you met somebody at like a convention and it's like, oh yeah, I met this person over at DreamCon. I want to go sit there and share the love with them. So we're gonna go raid that person. You go raid, and it's like this person does not allow you to raid. But then again, I guess there's like the old school feature of, hey, here's the link to that channel. Just go over there and then do the raid thingy. We're just gonna take it back to 2017. Twitch creators can now share their banned users list. To share a list of banned users with another streamer, a creator will need to send them a request from the shared banned info section of the moderation settings. When you request banned information from another streamer and they accept, you will share the same information from your channel with them. At the outset, creators can have up to 30 of these connections.
I already know who at least like 7 of them are going to be.
But yeah, back to what you were saying before I cut you off to say we weren't talking about it. I can see how memery can fuck this up, especially if you don't clean up that list. Like if I sit there and ban Ruin just for saying something out of pocket like he is wont to do, but then forget to unban him, and now he can't talk in like the 30 other channels that I'm sharing ban lists with.
Right. That's what I'll be doing. That's why I'll be doing like no joke bans.
Like, so I can see where this could go wrong.
Yes.
But it's a thing of like, unlike the hack bolt shit where people were getting accidentally picked up through hate raids and then wondering why they were getting banned, and they were told that, hey, we got this, your name was probably part of Hackbolt's list. Then they go fucking track his ass down and then start just cussing him out to where he just stopped making the list. Like, I feel like I'm hoping that this won't go the same route, but then there are people who are just different levels of stable. Not to say that they are unstable, but just different levels of stable. To where, I don't know, they might do that anyway. I can't believe you banned me on your channel. Like, what I said was a joke. So yes, I know, I just forgot to unban. But you didn't unban me at time. Now I went over something so embarrassing. When I went over to Sin channel, I couldn't say nothing because I was banned over there too.
So it's one of those. It's like, considering the pros and the cons here is something that people have to consider. Like, I imagine that there are going to be some snafus and mishaps because, listen, that stuff is already happening and that tool wasn't even out. I had somebody who ended up being really cool, found me on Twitter, went to go follow me on Twitch and couldn't because they were blocked and banned because they were a false positive in some of the tools that I use as a username for some of the tools that I use in order to prevent hate raid nonsense and shenanigans and trolls coming into chat or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna happen. There's
Yeah,
gonna be like
I,
a rough patch of
yeah,
that or
I
whatever.
had
It'll
one
be
person.
it'll be fine.
Yeah, I had like one
Yeah.
person who got caught up in that too.
Yeah. I mean, it was like, it was like, I tell you that one time when I got raided and I was like, by people that I didn't know, but they knew of me because I was playing a game that they were talking about. They were like, "Oh, I'm gonna throw like 30 people in your chat," and I'm like, I didn't know that person, and I was like, I had follower mode on, so they couldn't really say anything, and I was like, oh my god, what's happening? And so things have happened where kind of like the sting, or it's kind of like the experience is soured a little bit because you're so worried about your safety and the safety of your community. You're not even thinking about, oh shit, like, oh god, somebody raided me, oh that's wonderful. It's like you're thinking about, who is this person, what are they here for, what is their motivations, and then turns out they were just actually awesome and lovely people, and I still get like like mentioned in their conversations because they are just like, oh, I like your energy and your personality, and we're so sorry, and it's okay, we understand, we understand. They were so once I knew they were okay after like 10 minutes, I had to turn it off for them to be able to talk, and yeah, it was a mess.
I mean, it's
But
a thing where like Twitch's culture has been built on being open and like being able to have that kind of access. Seems like a weird thing to say, but like they kind of have that availability to be able to talk when you come into another stream. So all of a sudden, like, yet now after like 2 years of this nonsense, it's like you never know. It's a thing where
Well,
it's
I
like
mean, part of it was that was a big frustration that people complained about, especially if as a marginalized person, is like it's literally hampering my growth that I have to have the gates up to keep nonsense out because the powers that be on the platform who could be working on these features haven't prioritized them. So I have to take that into my own hands. That means that, like Major was like talking about here, I can't benefit from the culture that Twitch built in terms of just being able to simply connect with people because I have to take extra precautions that other people don't have to take.
Right. Because that's awesome when you could just be like, oh, that person has one viewer, let me bring my like 200 people raid to them and surprise them, like, surprise, we love your game, like, or find somebody that looks like you, and you could stream and you could just drop some love on them. But you can't really do that now. Like, it is,
I mean, it's very hit or miss.
it's very hit or miss. So that's why I ended up like rocking with my friends. Like, all right, I'm gonna rock with my friends, and then when I see my, like, today, I was like, yay! I had like 8 or 9 people in my stream, and I was like, I looked on it, and none of my mutuals was on, and so I was like, well, I guess I'll just go. I guess I'll just leave. I guess y'all go about your business. See y'all later. And
Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here.
I'll see y'all next. I'll see y'all next week. All right, love you. That kind of thing. So it's just, but again, it's like you can't really just drop all your love on a stranger because you don't know if you're gonna be in follow mode, or you're gonna be in like sub only mode,
or they're just a shitty human being.
Oh yeah, it's just a terrible person. Yeah. Because many times, one time I dropped some love on this one person because I was playing Splat, and so I was like, I just go in Splat and carry it over to somebody else playing Splat, and then the person just wasn't saying anything. Like, didn't even acknowledge the raid, didn't even talk, just was like, And I was just like, and I'm not one of them people who are like, yo, you gotta acknowledge my raid, bro. You gotta acknowledge my raid. You know, I dropped 3 people on you. You gotta acknowledge my raid, bro. And I never said that. You know, I'm not one of them people. But it's like to not say anything, and you have alerts, and you just not saying nothing. Okay,
Maybe you're just too into Splatoon.
he wasn't. He was not. I have been in purity. I have been in purity monster fights, and I have not missed alerts. I'd still be like, "Thank you for the alert, whoever. I'm fighting for my life. Hold on a second." You know, like an Anjanath is trying to stomp me out like a cigarette. So yeah. But yeah, so I just was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go. See y'all next week.
So 2 pretty good features coming out of Twitch. Again, with due time, when they become more widely available, more widely used, I guess we'll find out how good they actually are in practice. Which I will say that this is the 4th week, the 4th show in a row where Twitch has actually done something good instead of bad. And for the last week of this month, they gave us a twofer.
Yep.
They dropped 2 features.
I'm still going to need them 70/30s, though.
An update. NVIDIA Broadcast is now being embedded into iQOO and Elgato software.
So I guess I'm gonna have to update some stuff now.
I want to talk about this. Okay?
All right.
I want to talk about this. Okay. So I had a good moment, a bad moment, but it's still a good moment. Okay. So let me tell you what happened. So I hear about this, right? Because I'm like, oh my god, I'm a Corsair guy. Like I got the Elgato mic. I don't got the face cam yet. So I'm like, cool. Cause when I'm on Discord, there's noise suppression with Discord. So I can be like crunching my chips, drinking, shaking my ice, whatever. So when I'm streaming, you hear all that. You hear my fan, you hear my crunching thing of ice. Cause y'all know, if you know me, like y'all know me, and I think y'all know me, I am a chewer. I am a snacker when it comes to these streams. I snack on the podcast. I snack during my streams. I snack wherever because that's where I am. You know, I get a little peckish when I be sitting here for hours and hours and hours. So I'm like, yo, let me go ahead and I'm slurping on my straw, whatever. So it catches all of that. I pretty much my Bugsnax clip wasn't really like messed up, but you could definitely hear a fan noise because I was hot and I had my fan on, and you could certainly hear that fan. So I downloaded the plugin, and I have also a big knock on Elgato because Elgato does a very horrible job about telling you exactly how to work the plugin. Because they tell you like, okay, you download it, do the update, that kind of thing. But then you also got to do the SDK on top of that. So you have the executable, and then you have the SDK. But then you're thinking, is it through NVIDIA Broadcast, or is it through like the file itself, or is it just an update and then the plugin goes in? You don't really know. So that's poo-poo on Corsair. So what I found out is you have to download it through Elgato, then you got to go through NVIDIA and download the SDK, which you could do once you download the executable. So you can do that. And when I tell you that once I finally got it up and running and working, I was literally crunching my bag. Yeah, Jerry said he be chewing. I be chewing. and I was crunching the bag, and I was shaking my ice, and I was like, I was all in there. I was all in the mic like this. I was like, "Ugh." I was clapping and everything. I was shaking my ice, and you couldn't hear it. You couldn't hear it. I was literally throttling a water bottle. Like, "Ugh." I was choking that water bottle within an inch of its life, and yet nobody could. I said, "Can you hear any of this? Can y'all hear this? Can y'all absolutely hear this?" Couldn't hear it.
I've tried the
And I'm like,
I've tried the NVIDIA broadcast, like just the app itself with my microphones. I do not like it because it gives me enough of a delay. Like it's just enough of a delay towards like, this is annoying. I cannot do this.
right. The broadcast software is not the move. But the plugin through the Elgato plugin with the NVIDIA removal, that is the move. Because that does work.
Too much things in the pipeline, especially having to try to run it through voice meter. And like for all I know, like that may be the issue too. Like I may be running it through too much software that's causing the delay.
Possibly.
So it's like, yeah, I'm okay. I don't need this here.
Yeah, because I have mine through. I do mine through Wavelength because Wavelength is like my voice meter. So I haven't really had any issues. I think it's on. It should be on now.
It's not because I heard you do all of those Foley sounds.
So you do like, because this is through Discord, and Discord suppression isn't on, so I've turned that on though. But yeah, but
you should be able to route that. You should be able to route that audio to Discord though, right?
Yeah, sure, with the plugin, but I just haven't done. But I just don't because Discord already has noise suppression, so I just use that.
But it ain't gonna keep me from hearing that bottle crinkle.
Right, because the suppression is not on Discord.
But that's what I'm saying. Like to say you're not running the RTX voice stuff because Discord already has noise suppression. Doesn't necessarily, I feel like it doesn't justify not running RTX voice because again, I can still hear the other noises.
Right, because I don't have Discord suppression on.
Why don't you have that on?
Because I wanted to test if it was good. I wanted to test if it was good during Discord. I just hadn't yet.
Oh.
Yeah.
We should turn it on and see if I can still hear the crinkle.
Hold on, let me turn it on and say. Hold on. And Discord. Noise suppression on. Hold on. Let me get an empty bottle. Ready?
Yep.
Throttle.
Damn. Okay. You know what?
Can you hear that?
That was pretty fucking good. That was pretty fucking good, man.
Yeah.
For that to be, is that Discord or RTX voice?
No, this is Discord.
That's fucking Discord, bro.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, Discord's noise suppression is good.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
That's what I say. That's why I don't have a problem with using their noise suppression on Discord because it's good.
Okay.
The issue that I'm having is like trying to use to be on my stream and the fan's on and you can hear the fan noise or the computer fans are spinning up or like I'm like, I'm trying to eat my plantain chips so nice and daintily, but you can still hear the crunching and then you can still like the rustling of the bag. That kind of stuff is good for my stream. So that's good to have it. But it's just like NVIDIA really needs like, and I'm sure like EPOS Vox will cover it. I'm sure like I think like some dude named Harris Heller they'll do it because a lot, the streamer cats, like they'll like make a thing on it and show you how to set it up properly. But I'm like, what if I just wanted to? What if it's an Elgato thing, and you go to Elgato and Elgato doesn't really tell you how to properly set that up? Now me, I'm a dude, so I know, I'm a streamer dude, content creator dude. I figured it out. But, sometimes people who are in content creation are not, tech peeps like us. So they need to have the guides. Some people just turn it, hit 3 buttons and go live. So it's got to work. So it's got to be simple enough for them to be able to figure it out on their own. So yeah, that's what I say. Discord's noise suppression is good, but I just need it for the stream. So that way, when I'm crunching on my plantain chips, Jerry doesn't hear it, Merge don't hear it, Tito don't hear it, and then y'all can hear the games, and then when I make the clips, y'all won't hear the fan in the background because that bug snap clip was really good, and it's still really good. Talk about that's why your wife left you. I'm gonna do violence on you, like. Yeah, it's good. Oh Lord, bug snaps is so good. Yeah, but anyway,
I'm eventually gonna play it.
It's not that long to beat. I found out it's not that long to beat.
Yeah, I need
good game.
I need to get to playing some games.
Yeah. And but yes, I like it, and go check it out. If you have a Wave 3 and an RTX 3080 series
20,
card,
or 20 series.
20 series? Oh, 20 series? 20 series
all the RTX cards.
Oh, all the RTX cards. Okay.
They technically will work with GTX cards, but you ain't gonna have a good time.
Yeah. That was also the thing where I realized, like, you can use broadcast stuff now. Oh wow, that's great. And then I found out broadcast was crashing 2 Point Hospital, and so I had to let that go. And I just had to use the Elgato plugin.
Yeah, so like I installed NVIDIA Broadcast when I was rebuilding the PC because I had an install for it. So yeah, I tried the latest version. Of course, I didn't try the RTX voice stuff because that's fine. But I did want to try the camera stuff and see how that worked with my mirrorless camera. And of course, sure, there is some depth of field stuff here anyway, but it does blur this out behind me a little bit more. It'll isolate me into where I'm just sitting in a void, and it's okay up until I move and it kind of fades things where my head or where a lock was to black, because okay, that was his head, but it's not shaped circular, so there was a thing there. Is it that? No, we should probably color that black now. So it was a little delayed in sitting there trying to keep everything dark behind me in the void. And I was able to try that kind of that follow feature where it's you move around and the camera kind of follows you. But as someone who does not move that often, that was also just kind of a moot point. Right. But yeah, if you use IQ and Elgato stuff, there's a little embedded plugin for you for NVIDIA Broadcast. Mm-hmm. And more software update news. Not nudes, but news. iOS 15.6, iPadOS 15.6, a new version of Mac OS, a new version of Watch OS, a new version of TV OS, a new version of Home Pod software is now available. They dumped everything yesterday for you to update for all your stable needs. It looks like there's some bug fixes. There was an iPad Mini 6 charging issue. There's also a live sports update that came through here. But yeah, it's just another point release for all the iOS stuff. So yeah, if you again, like I said, please update your shit. And then deals coming soon to Xbox Game Pass. Of course, some of the stuff is already out. As Dusk Falls released a couple of days ago on cloud, console, and PC. Sins of a Solar Empire Rebellion PC dropped today. Watch Dogs 2 for cloud, console, and PC. You know, my favorite game of all time.
Oh yeah.
Now you can enjoy it too on Xbox Game Pass on cloud, console, and PC. That dropped a couple of days ago. MotoGP 22 cloud, console, and PC dropped today. Torment Titan Numenera cloud and console on July 21st. Inside, which I thought was already on Game Pass. But if it wasn't, here it is. Be available on cloud, console, and PC on the 29th. So next Friday. And of course, Garden Story is available. Solista, Crown of the Magister is available now. Some DLC, some game updates for you. Of course, Hot Wheels on Forza Horizon 5 dropped a couple of days ago. The Minecraft preview is also out. And of course, I have both of those. You know the fucking vibes.
Yeah. And we can't forget about Game of the Year contender, Power Wash Simulator. Boom. Go check that out.
Coconut Milk costume for Fall Guys will be available August 2nd. Minecraft Swamp Dwellers bundle on July 26th. And Century Ages of Ashes Crawled Slaglands Dragon bundle on August 2nd. Touch controls added to 12 more games. Citizen Sleeper, Disc Room, Escape Academy, Garden Story, Little Witch in the Woods, Lost in Random, Space Lines from the Far Out, Umurangi Generation, Yakuza 0, Kiwami 2, As Dusk Falls when it's available on July 19th. I wonder if they took off 0, Kiwami 2 to work on touch controls. I doubt it, but those were the ones that were taken away and then mysteriously added back. Coincidence? Nah, I think it actually is a coincidence. July 31st, Dodgeball Academia, or Dodgeball Academia, Katamari Damacy Reroll, Lumines Remastered, Omno and Raji and Ancient Epic will be leaving the service. But if you would like to keep them in your library, remember to use your membership discount to save up to 20%. Also, apparently, Ashes of the Singularity Escalation was removed and replaced with Sins of a Solar Empire Rebellion. Isn't Ashes of the Singularity like one of those gaming tests that they do?
Yes.
Okay. Do I own? I think I own that.
Possible.
And Infamous Second Son DLC is now available for free because the game is on PlayStation Plus, and they wanted to give you everything. So yeah. And that's it. That's all. That's it. That's all we got. Take it or leave it.
Even at a reasonable hour.
I tried. I tried. Sinziak, what you got going on this week?
Well, this weekend in particular, I'm going to be part of a charity event for A Color of Change this weekend. So we will be playing tabletop games to do that, and I will be involved on Friday games, Friday evening at 8, and then Saturday at 11:30 a.m., and also at, I believe, 8 p.m. on Saturday. So if you want to come by and check out and help out and all that other stuff, feel free to do that.
Can you ping me those? Can you ping me in Discord with that channel so I can host it? Because if you don't, I'm asking you if you can ping it to me in Discord. Because if I don't see it, I won't do anything with it. I would like to host the channel you're going to be on.
So that's the channel. I put that in the DMs there, so you can see where that is.
Oh, you know what? I can use my
So
bot to remind me.
So that is what's happening on Friday evening and Saturday. Sunday will hopefully be a little bit of a chill day. And then we will be back to the many layered shenanigan. That is Hollow Knight and me planning on what games I want to play after I finally finished that game. We had a very long time of practice. Week, so we're gonna see how far we get this coming week.
Sorry, it's getting a little warm in here, so I got this towel to kind of wipe off some sweat.
You better turn on this air conditioner.
I think I turned it up because it was chilly earlier today. But yeah, now that I've sat in front of this computer with all the fans, not everything is tuned like it should be, so it's a little bit warmer here at the desk than it usually is. So yeah. Kev.
Yes, sir.
What you got going on this week?
Well,
Wow.
not too much. Not too much. Probably mostly like Live Alive and Live Alive. I'm probably going to be starting Guardians of the Galaxy on PC. So that might be just like a private test. See how it looks. Probably may or may not stream it. Who knows? But yeah, I have it down. I have it downloaded free on Game Pass, and so I'm looking
So good
forward.
though. I bought it before it became free.
I was like, well, no, I have a feeling. I got a feeling that it was coming to Game Pass.
I mean, you
so
could
I was
have
like,
a feeling, but the game was just that damn good.
I mean, I'm sure it was good.
I
but I was like, you
10
know what?
minutes on a
Game
PS5 and I said, I need to have this now. It was a Christmas gift to me. Guardians of the Galaxy.
So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait on this. And then I had downloaded it on the Series S, and I was like, get it there, I guess. And then I was like, I got 3080 Ti now. Yeah.
What are you doing?
Throw it on the PC.
Yep.
So I was like, throw it on the PC. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I've been doing. So I'll probably be maybe dabbling with that over the weekend, and on the low.
Oh, you gonna love it. You gonna love it.
I feel like I am because I'm already like, yeah, I like the art style, and I watched you streaming, and I'm like, yeah, I like this. I like this.
You gonna love it. You gonna love it.
I like this. So I'm like, yeah. And it don't look like a long game because I don't like because I can't do long games now.
It wasn't that long. I don't know. My judge of length of video games is really wonky because like I will play them in fits and starts. But yeah, I don't feel like it lasted as long. It did not overstay its welcome.
Right. And yeah, so I'll probably be dabbling with that. Little No Man's Sky. It's been a lot of Brittany been like telling me, Kev, it's so good, you know, because Brittany plays a lot of it, and so she's all like very happy about it. The fact that you could teleport from your base to your frigate and then back. So you can basically be like, I'm gonna teleport to my frigate, and I'm in my frigate now doing my frigate stuff. And then I teleport back to to one of my bases. So
okay, I did not re-download it. I might just re-download it.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll probably that's definitely one of them games I'll probably be like, I'll play on the low. I might stream it, you know, on the rotation. You know, just getting back to my backlogs again. Falling back in love with my backlogs again. You know, and kind of like, you know, anticipation for like 2 Point Hospital and not 2 Point Hospital, 2 Point Campus. Yeah, 2 Point Campus. We're very excited about that. 2 Point Campus and Bear and Breakfast, and then maybe do some Splat stuff for Splat 3 coming out in September. So, yep, That's pretty much it for me.
Okay, so for me and Kev, I got a recommendation for you. I cannot believe I did not remember to say this before, mainly because I was focused on dumb shit PC's doing. But I'm gonna tell you something. There have been people who've been talking about this game forever, and when I first saw it, I said, okay, this game is fucking garbage. Who will want to play this? But the more I saw it, the more I saw people talking about it. And when I heard it was on Game Pass, I was like, you know what? Maybe. I don't talk about indie games that much. I don't. But there is an indie game that is just like, if you have to play this game when you literally do not have anything else to do for hours. It is called Vampire Survivor.
The little pixel game?
It is it's like a 16-bit game.
Yeah,
I've seen that thing. It's so much fun.
Oh yeah.
You only use the left stick. Is all you do. You just walk around, try not to die, and the weapons shoot themselves. You can upgrade the weapons, upgrade your shield, your armor, and all that shit.
I've seen J-Rock playing that. That
Oh
game
my
is
God.
it's wild.
Oh my God.
I've seen J-Rock play it. I think I might have seen Dip play it. I'm like, it's literally like, this is insanity in a game. And I'm just like, and I would sit there and I was mesmerized for a good 10, 15 minutes.
I saw Brad Shoemaker play this initially a few months ago. And was like, this game looks stupid. And just ignored it, right? Then I saw
But
Andy.
they got you.
Yep, because it was Andy Cortez from Kinda Funny who was talking about it. And he's like, yeah, you only need one stick.
Yeah.
You only use the left stick. And it's free on Game Pass. That was enough for me to get off of my couch to walk to the PC while I was waiting for shit to back up. I said, let me download this small little game. Let me see. Bruh. Hooked. I was hooked.
Hook, line, and sinker.
I need to point out once again. Sometimes a simple game can just be a good game. It's just
Look,
like
I mean,
small
I
little
also
contained
play
experience and it just works.
Also, I think it's like One Finger Death Punch or some shit like that. Where it's like a stick figure doing like kung fu. With like, if you hit the left mouse button, he throws a punch or a kick to the left, and if it's on, you hit the right mouse button to throw a kick or punch to the right. I will play the shit out of that too. That reminds me, I should probably re-download that game too. Also, I need to go buy the sequel if I haven't already.
There's one game that's just, you have like a little like stylus or whatever, or you use your mouse and you just have enemies on the screen, and your whole character is like, they have a little meter that they use for focus, and you just draw lines on the screen, and they use that meter to kill as many enemies on the screen as they can, and your whole thing is just
Grindstone.
I don't know if that's the name.
It was, so that's a game that was on Apple Arcade, but it's been coming out in other places too. It's like there's like a grid of enemies, and you're kind of in the middle. It's like you're sitting there, draw the line, and he goes and slashes them.
Yep,
that's Grindstone. Yep. I love that game too.
And you have like 5 people, like they all have like different things that they get as like pros and cons for how you draw those lines and how often they're able to draw them.
Yep.
One of them is like an old dude who, if he dies, he blows up everything on the screen.
Just see, I mean, I love simple games, but it's very rare that I talk, because they're like simple things that I just like play them, toss them aside. But yet, I don't know, it just, I can't believe I forgot about fucking Vampire Survivor. Oh my God. Kev, do yourself a favor.
I'll check
Do
it
yourself
out.
a favor. Oh my God. And it's weird that it's not on console, but I mean, it's whatever. Just, it's a small, itty-bitty little game, but hours.
Yeah.
Hours will go by. Like, I needed to keep this PC up so it can back up, because Windows 11 was doing a weird thing with Windows Explorer crashing. So it's like, well, I need to keep this thing up. So I'm going to sit here and play God knows how many hours of fucking Vampire Survivor, and knew I was going to be okay because I had Ghost in the Shell on the TV. Vampire Survivor. The backups were running. I was like, cool. This is just it for me for like the next 4 hours or until I get tired. I think I stopped at about 1 a.m. after starting at about like 9. Just okay, I'm just tired. I need to go to bed. And I was satisfied.
Oh wow.
Just playing that one game and just going for. I was having so much fucking fun. And like yeah. And I can't wait to go back. I cannot wait to go back.
Yeah, I'll check it out. I see it on Game Pass. I see it plop up, and I'm like, I'll give it a shot.
Definitely. Again, do not play that unless you were gonna be in for a good few hours.
Okay.
Also, I wonder if that game is on cloud. I should check and see if it's on cloud. Because if I can play that shit on my phone with the backbone, whew,
Good chance it might be. Good chance.
I need to check that out. Anywho, outside of that, again, I'm not going to put any promises that I'm going to be online, but I am trying my damnedest to get this PC back up in fighting shape so I can be back online, start streaming again. Like to finish Watch Dogs 2. Also, I had an idea for something. I'm not sure if, Kev, you've noticed this on the Series X, but if you, like, when you play Game Pass games, you get achievements, like little quest achievements.
Yes.
If you go in there, they have a lot of suggestions for you to expose yourself to different games or do different activities, almost like achievements in a video game. That would get you to do things you normally would not do in the video game to get the achievements. I want to do kind of a series where I do those achievements, those quests in Game Pass. And it's something I wanted to do for a while, but I was thinking seriously about it when it had me try to play The Evil Within. And I had to kill 7 enemies, which they do not show up at the beginning of that game. You gotta sit through cutscenes and go through some gruesome shit to get to an enemy. I still don't think I have seen an enemy. I've gotten to a point where I've been able to see enemies, but it took a while. So I kind of want to go through there and like explore some of these games that they're recommending I play to get these achievements. And maybe make some content out of that. Also, while I was waiting for the PC stuff to get done, I was updating the Xbox, and I was looking for something to do. And I saw Final Fantasy 13 sitting there. I said, I should play Final Fantasy 13 again, just to see if I can get past where I got stuck before. So I'm thinking I might pick that up I would like to pick that up as my next game. I know I got to finish some Yakuza stuff too. So I might start making up a schedule where I can, switch off between these games again. So I don't get burnt out on one game and actually get to play other things. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I might buy a couch.
I'm looking forward to a small trip to Big Lots at some point in the future. For a similar set of reasons.
Yeah, we've had this couch in the family for a minute, and I'm like, you know what? I really kind of want something new. Something that I feel like may go in this room other than like, I mean, it's brown, but, I would like something that kind of fits I guess, a gamer motif, if you will. So maybe something with some cup holders. Maybe a recliner. I deserve a recliner. But that's it. That's all I got. And that's all we've got for Tech Talk Thursdays for July 21st, 2022. We've done it. We finally, look, we saw last week, we made it to midnight. Not again. We can't do that again. But sometimes when these topics are so juicy, we got so many things to say, we can't help it. I told Santa, so man, look, I tried to keep the list small. I cut out an article.
One whole article, y'all.
One article. It was about why, the Oculus Quest 2 required a Facebook login. But, we don't need to know that. It's done. It's over. We don't need to know. We don't need to worry about that anymore. Anywho, thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Tech Talk Thursday. Really do appreciate it. On behalf of Kevin Kev, on behalf of Sin, it's your boy Mark Summers, Major Linux, saying you all could have been anywhere in the world, watching any stream in the world. You could have been reading the tech, gaming, and streaming nugs yourself, but you said no. No. So
where would I even find this?
Where would I find it? I've come to see the oracles, Major, Sin, and Kev. Yes, Kev has gotten some predictions too. We have come to the oracle to sit at their feet and to learn about the future. Because the folks who run tech are stupid and they do repeat their dumb fucking errors every time.
Mm-hmm.
And for that, we thank you for listening and heeding our words and our warnings as we lead you to the big future, the big bright future that we promise that is beautiful and full of melanin. And on that note, all I've got left to say to you wonderful people is I love you and peace. How?
Wakanda forever.